What's up, everybody? It's PJ along with James, and we are back once again for Essential Guy Talk. And last week's show was awesome. We had a great time. Really, really tasty food. It was just really fun from beginning to end. We've put out some real fun socials, so I hope you guys check those out as well. And we're going to have another amazing show today. So on the plate today, we have Jason, who is here from Icarus Brewing Company, one of the best breweries here in New Jersey, but he's one of the best breweries in all of the country, doing some really amazing things right over here to our right. So, Jason, why don't you say hello to everybody?
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for talking me up.
What's up, Jason? Thanks for coming. Thanks for
having
bringing
me.
these delicious beers that we're about to consume.
No problem. I hope you enjoy them.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're going to talk about each one. But first, let's talk about Icarus. So for people who don't know, how long have you guys been in business?
So we opened Friday, January 13th, 2017. So we're going on with like 7 years now. What feels like forever and yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 years?
Yeah.
Awesome. So throughout the years, you guys have started out small, doing small batches. Now you guys are putting out tons of beer. I saw you guys are doing like 3 to 5 new beers a week on average.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's always our goal. For us, it's all about like rotating in new stuff, keeping it fun, keeping it fresh. Just knowing that like if you walk into our tap room or you see our cans at a liquor store and you haven't been in like maybe a month, it's like a whole new tap list. I don't want you coming and be like, oh, well, I've had everything.
Yeah.
I want you seeing something new, having something fresh. I want every batch you have to be fresh.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
which is crazy. Like I had said to PJ earlier, when I was doing a little research on the brewing company, and I was like, man, they do 3 to 5 beers a week. And then I looked at your menu on here, and the menu itself, like, are these like standards that you always have? Because it's extensive.
No, I mean, we have like maybe 2 or 3 beers that are standard for us. Otherwise, I think we have like 26, 27 beers on tap right now. Everything's rotating.
Wow.
You know, again, when you have 3 to 5 beers a week with, you know, probably one of those being like brand new, one of those being something like on a deep rotation, maybe something we haven't released in, you know, a year, 2 years, 5 years, and then something that, you know, a mainstay.
Wow.
So just recently, I think for the first time, Untapped put out their awards for the year, right? And I saw you guys took home a couple of awards, a couple of dark beers, right?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. You know, we're most well known for our IPAs, our hazies, our juicies, and all of a sudden, like we swept like the Russian Imperial Stout category.
Yes.
And like a few other ones. Just seeing those awards across the state was like pretty insane to me because, like, again, we're in our own little bubble. Like, I enjoy our beer, I like it, and all that, but like.
I mean, Kalishnikov is huge for me and my boys. So just seeing it from that perspective, I expected it. You guys are doing some just consistently good things with your dark beers. That's not to slight your light ones. Everybody knows you guys are putting out bangers when it comes to all the hazy stuff that you're doing. But the dark beers, I don't know if they got enough love, but clearly they do, because you just got some pretty cool awards for it. So cheers to that.
Thanks.
So speaking of which, I want to open up one of these.
So I'm not much of a beer drinker personally.
Okay.
More of a whiskey guy.
Yeah, I'm a whiskey
So
guy
I'm
too.
really interested to try all of these out for sure. This is actually whiskey right here.
The Hell House
I'm
whiskey.
not just a badass that has Hell House on his hat.
So tell us a little bit about our Riviera. I'm going to pour it so
that what I
people can
have
see
too?
the colors. You have one of each. Yeah.
Okay.
But our Riviera, what was the idea behind this one?
So I've always heard like our Riviera, I mean like, you know, like the Irish Riviera, I mean like any like local area filled with a lot of Irish people. You know, where I'm from in Queens, I always heard that, you know, New York. And then like living down the shore, it was something cool to me of like, hey, there's just like so many I mean, we have a St. Patrick's Day every day of every week for like a month and a half right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we got plenty of Rivieras right now across New Jersey. This was our Riviera, like our local place on the shore. Seeing as like we're a shore-based brewery. So this was our dry Irish stout, you know, for this time of year. We have a base version we always release around now, and this was a brand new one to us, based off like boardwalk style chocolate turtles.
Yeah, that got me jazzed up. I saw Irish style export stout with chocolate, caramel, and pecans. And then the ABV is light and easy to drink because it's that dry Irish style, just under 5, so 4.9. I could drink this all day.
It smells tasty. By the way, Jason, did you die a little bit inside when you watched me pour this into the cup?
I did watch the hard pour right there, and the hard pour is the lifestyle. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you for your lifestyle. If you want to hard pour everything, just make sure you hard pour everything.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'll do it on the next one
Perfect.
too.
I like to slow pour like half to 3/4 and then
Yeah.
get a little rigorous. So
What's
that
the proper etiquette on that? And this
It's
is a
your beer, you
43-year-old
do
man
what you
asking
want.
this question, by the way.
Whatever way you enjoy it.
So, am I supposed to tilt it?
Oh yeah, I would normally tilt it, pour it down the side. Personally,
Okay.
like I want like a relatively calm with like the 2-finger amount of head at the top.
Yeah.
Probably not aggressively aerated. You're probably not going to stand, up here, do a long pour into a glass.
That affects
Again.
the overall flavor.
Yeah.
Like when I did
Of course.
what
Yeah.
I just did.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%. Now I'm sorry, PJ.
No. But I mean, yes, it affects the flavor because now that you have head on the top of your beer, that's where some of the aeration is
okay.
riding on top of, and now that's going to hit your nose, so your nose is going to get involved, along with your taste buds.
What I was going to ask you, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Aaron last week, right? Because I'm a little naive to this. So when tasting beer for the first time, is there an etiquette that I'm supposed to follow? Like, am I supposed to like check its legs and swish it around, or just go in?
So it's not like you're at a vineyard or at a distillery. I'm not asking you to, swish it around and spit it back out after. No,
I don't have any places.
like you enjoy it. Like the style of glass definitely matters. You drink with your eyes, so seeing the foam helps. Aromatics are huge.
Yep.
So definitely smell it, but it's ultimately it's about the taste.
Ooh, that is tasty.
You might have like a big boozy barrel-aged beer, and you will see legs on it. Like as you pour down a glass, you can see that like almost oiliness stick to the side of a glass. But on a dry Irish stout, you wouldn't have that.
No. Oh.
No, this one's easy, light. The body's going to be a little bit easier for you to take, but the flavors are all there. I'm getting chocolate up front, caramel, kind of like the aftertaste, and then a little bit of nuttiness is kind of in reserve. It's like if I like smack my lips afterwards, I get a little bit of that.
For a beer like this, we don't want it to be like too in your face. Like, if you have one of our like bigger, boozier stouts, you have like when the Klishnikovs are making whoopee, and we tell you that these flavors are in it, they're in it. Like they better be in your face, big, boozy pastry stouts.
Yep.
Those are all about having like a 5 to 10 ounce of it, loving it, and being able to like put it to the side. Like I'll have this again another time. It's sort of like you're having a whiskey.
Yeah.
How you have a beer like this, something a little bit lighter. The whole idea is you want to be able to crush one, maybe crush two, maybe crush a 4-pack. I want those flavors to be there, but I don't want them to overwhelm you because when do you finish the other 3 cans?
Yeah. Yeah, then it's too much flavor, and then after a while, you're just, too much is too much,
Can I ask a real quick question? I don't know if this is gonna. So, Jason, with beer itself, like, how did you get in the beer business? Like, were you a passion, like, hobbyist at first, like in your younger age, or I'm not saying that you're old?
I mean, I've been professionally brewing now for half my life, and that's a scary thing. So I I was studying food science at Ohio State, had to take an internship every single quarter, ended up taking an internship at a brewery while I was there, and just sort of falling in love with it.
Okay.
Ended up specializing my major in it, specialized in fermentation. After college, I moved to England, brewed out there, studied at University of Sunderland for a brewing program, because back in 2011, brewing schools didn't really exist everywhere. There was probably under 1,000 breweries in the country.
Yeah.
There was 7 or 8 in New Jersey total. Not that I lived in this state, but anyway, it just didn't exist. So I moved to England, brewed out there, and I've just sort of been brewing ever since.
How was that, man? How was that experience? How long were you in the UK for?
I was there for like the better part of a year. I don't know the best way to put it, but when you think of England, you think London, you think like the old world. I lived in a town called Sunderland.
Oh, Sunderland Till I Die
Exactly.
is the Netflix
yes, I think
series.
that documentary took place like while I was there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like Sunderland, I can most compare to England's West Virginia, seeing as how there used to be coal mines there that no longer exist.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the neighboring town, Newcastle. I
That's
don't know if you
awesome.
know that
Newcastle.
the show Jersey Shore was syndicated worldwide. There was different versions of it.
Really?
Oh, yeah, different versions everywhere. In England, they had the Geordie Shore.
Yes, yeah, I did hear the
Yeah.
Geordie Shore. Yep.
Yeah, which was
Yep.
based out of Newcastle. So surprise, surprise to me
Yeah.
to move out to England just to find the exact same people of the show Jersey Shore everywhere.
That's
but with an
amazing.
English accent.
Small story. We actually had Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore
Yep.
here with us for 2 weeks while he recorded his new book, his audio book that just came out.
Well, I'm sure he probably at some point had some crossover with the Geordie
Dude,
Shore
he
and
had
was
some
out
incredible
there.
Stories, man.
Newcastle is a fun town. Sunderland, however, not as many nice things to say about, which made it a lot easier to spend all of my time brewing.
Yeah.
We spent about like 40 hours a week in class, another 40 hours a week placed at different breweries around working, and I did not mind that.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your own background before you were brewing. You had another profession, right? When you first started, weren't you in fire?
You just pulled like an Ardnar
I mean, like
on
I'm
him.
still yes, like I'm still a volunteer firefighter.
There you go. So
yeah.
you've been
So yeah, I'm still doing that. Literally on my drive over here today, definitely saw a mulch fire. Had to call it in. I'm like, well, I could stop and like get credit for this and like do my civic duty. I'm like, no, I'll just call it in.
There you
and
go.
I'm like, I don't know how I can explain to PJ. Sorry, I'm late. I had to volunteer to be a hero.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's a tough
Nothing
sell.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have said, hey, we'll start without you, and we'll get to you when you get here.
yeah.
But once again, you guys are here right now with Jason from Icarus Brewing. Icarus Brewing is in Lakewood currently, but tell us a little bit about the facility that you're opening over in Brick.
So we've spent the better part of the last 3 years now building out a brand new facility in the next town over in Brick Township, which has been its own fun thing. But we're like very close to completion now. The building itself is 6 times larger than the space we're in right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
It has the ability to do everything we've always dreamed of doing. We outgrew our space in Lakewood. You know, if we've been there 7 years, we probably outgrew it 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've built up vertically there. We've tried to do everything we can to increase our production. We are working around ourselves every single day in Lakewood. Whereas in Brick, we have enough space for our production, enough space for our tasting room, for our beer garden, all the nice things we always dreamed of.
Nice.
And you can do, and I was reading this, and I guess this is subsequent of like new legislation here in the state that I think went in effect just this past January, right? Where they've like, they pulled away some restrictions for breweries that allow you to like offer snacks and collaborate with outside vendors and stuff like that. And you do events at your space, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, like, we spent the better part of the last year lobbying, working with politicians around the state, just really pushing for these laws to change. Made personal enemies with Phil Murphy during that whole process, enough that he knows my name at this point, which is probably an issue in the long run. But all that to get these laws changed. You know, we're just trying to bring New Jersey, you know, maybe not into the 21st century, but,
Yeah.
you know, I'd be happy to bring it to like 1998.
Yeah, just
Like,
catch up to some of the states.
Yeah.
Right?
Loosen up the belt straps a little
Yeah,
bit,
anything.
you know?
Like when our laws were being compared most to Utah before that.
Really?
Yeah. Not the state you want to be compared
The
to for
dry
alcohol
state.
laws.
That takes me to a whole nother conversation nonetheless.
Yeah. So our laws were so stuck in just prohibition era of so afraid that mobsters were going to run all the bars again and everything else that because of that, breweries couldn't have a TV larger than 50 inches.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
There was specific limits on the size of the TVs that a brewery could have and a maximum of 2 TVs.
Right.
Because that makes so much sense.
And what you had on the TV was
no,
up for
no playoff
discussions.
sports. And again, no championship sports. So we were told we could play the Olympics, but not a medal round. Like, yeah.
And they actually thought that this was a good idea, and they were
Yeah.
enforcing it like
Yes.
it was doing something positive.
There were people that thought this was reasonable.
Yeah.
It's amazing what some people think is reasonable,
Yeah.
actually.
And unfortunately, it's people that have never stepped foot in a brewery to understand what we do.
Yeah.
But from behind a desk, it seemed reasonable.
So does this help you out massively in your business model?
definitely.
To be able to not only distribute on a national or international basis, but be able to get more people in the brewery by doing events, brand recognition, and then exposure to your beer, even if they weren't like interested in beer already. Yeah.
So like this last Thursday, we hosted an art gallery. We've done this a few times so far, working with all local artists from around the state, allowing them to show off their work. Previously, that would have been one of our events, a limited number of things that we can do. So therefore, we were limited from doing things like that. Previously, we were limited with the amount of charities that we could work with, because to host an event for a charity was an event of itself. So now we're getting more people in the doors through these events to, allow them to see more of our products, because odds are, you're out in the world, you're at a bar or restaurant, you see yacht juice.
Yeah.
You see, that's our flagship beer. You see that at every restaurant around, and that draws you in the door. Now all of a sudden you show up and you see that tap list that you were talking about before. Suddenly like, oh wait, they're more than yacht juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
They actually do make some award-winning Russian Imperial Stouts.
There you go.
And all these different things that you wouldn't have seen otherwise unless you come to our tasting room.
Right.
So this is just getting more people in the doors, getting more eyes on our product, allowing us to show off what we are, capable of.
Yeah.
And then people get to try little amounts of things. So
Yeah.
then when they're at the, their local, place that they buy beer, now it's not the first time they're being introduced to it. And maybe
Right.
they don't want to make a 750 milliliter bottle or a 500 milliliter bottle commitment. Whereas if they tried it before, now they go back and they go, hey, I know what Kalashnikov is.
Yeah,
now I'm
building
going to pick up a 4-pack.
We're trying to just build that brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I thought was absolutely hilarious was they didn't allow food or food trucks.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Like, I'm reading about that now. Like, I don't understand what that is. Like, was there a limit on events too that you could do that per year or
Yeah,
something?
we were allowed, I think it was like 12 events previously, which were like one a month. We were allowed a set number of private parties, because if you wanted to host your birthday and your friend wanted to host his birthday,
Right.
well, that might be too many. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
so in our
super
new
odd.
space, we're dedicating a lot of our capabilities toward having private event rentals going on there. You want to have your wedding there? We can have a wedding there now.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
And a
People are
laid back
into that,
brewery
bro.
wedding
Yeah.
is a really
People
cool
are
idea.
into it. The
Yeah.
conventional ballroom wedding is gone to bed.
Yeah.
People are looking for unique spaces within unique environments.
And that's
that-
coming from two wedding DJs.
Yeah, man.
So 25 years of doing it ourselves, we have seen the shift. People just want unique spots, laid back, more
Yeah.
customized.
And like in your space, I know your existing space, your new space now. Like, are all of like the distilling equipment? I don't know the proper names for it. Is that all like exposed to a degree where people have like can see? Or,
Yeah.
Right.
So we've got what, 30-foot tall glass walls
Yeah.
between our tasting room and the brew house area. Brew house would be the words that you were looking for.
Distillery is,
Yeah. Yeah.
your
I'm
whiskey
not an
that you're talking
alcohol
about.
guy. I apologize.
Got it. No big deal. But yeah, no, it's all fully visible. We have a mezzanine overlooking the brew house as well.
Yeah.
So the moment you walk in, you just see stainless in the background.
Dude.
Yeah, it's
What you
definitely a
need to
cool
do
look.
Is you're building this new space from scratch? Is this from scratch, man? Like your
Yeah,
wish list of
we
things?
demolished the old building that was there. We wanted to build up on it, but like the building was just falling apart. So we demoed, built a whole new building in its place on the same footprint. So it's been a long process.
Dude.
And that speaks to the success that they've been able to
Yeah,
have
that's-
in a
that's-
facility that they grew out of long ago.
That's not a couple $1,000 project. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. And you know, it'd be cool, man. This is coming from like a guy that is always thinking about lighting and stuff like that. But if you did some sort of controlled lighting system that shined color or anything off stainless, like PARs and stuff like that, for your event. So like, let's say like your brewery's closed at nighttime, right?
Yeah.
But like they can see those areas as they're like going to the main room or whatever. And if I could just picture it in my head, it's like all dark backdrop.
Yeah.
But you just have like key lights on your stainless
The
portions.
fermentation tanks
Yeah,
can all be
we're-
uplit.
That's what we've been trying to figure out. Like once all the fermenters are placed in, like what's the best way to keep it? Like rather than keeping the overhead lights on, how do we uplight it that way? Like it just really just pops.
Super sick, man. People are going to be drawn to it. They're going to want to do their event in that space 100%. It's going to be crazy for imagery for their, photos and stuff like that.
Honestly, you couldn't have built it at a better time because now you're able to do all the things you weren't able to do 6 months ago, a year ago.
Building all this like with the hopes that these laws would pass was the scariest thing possible.
Right.
Because again, New Jersey's been in the Stone Age for 100 years.
Yeah.
So why would it change now?
And you didn't know whether to trust that they would make the changes that you needed. And the difference between the archaic rules of 6 months ago and now can't be understated. There are a lot of things that you want to go further. But there's just so many things that restrict people being there for a long period of time. And I think that's what the liquor lobby was trying to prevent. It was trying to stop people from going to your place at 1 o'clock and hanging there till 6 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, we're just where we are currently is a food desert.
Right.
We have one pizza place that'll deliver to us, nothing else. It's an industrial park.
Where do you have by Airport Road?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's like nothing over there.
I'm familiar. I go do my pew over there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't know TOS. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to say the word.
Yeah.
Familiar with the area over there. My mom lives in Leisure Village too, so I usually cut down Airport Road there because I don't want to go all the way down to 70 and deal with all that backup nonsense. So
but you know where they're moving to.
So where in Brick are you moving? Brick is very expensive.
It is. And I don't think I actually realized just how large Brick was until I think I went to like the building office one time, looked at a map, and I'm like, that's still Brick?
Yeah, it goes all the way up to Ramstown. You know what I mean? We're 195.
No, that has to be Howell. They're like, no.
Butts up to Silverton on the other side.
It's
and
huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of area. But
so don't tell me Chambers Bridge Road or something like that.
No, so we're on Route 88.
Okay.
It's Route 88 just before Point.
Okay. As you're going towards the bridge.
Yeah. So like, it's becoming a really nice area over there.
Yeah.
There's just like so much renewal going on in 88 right now, which I'm excited to be hopefully like taking the lead on.
Yep.
Traffic is a little tough in that area. That road is narrow.
Single lane each way.
Yeah, and storefront is like right up to it. So I don't even think they have the ability as a township to expand that area for you.
You say that, but they've made us do it.
Well, sure, they'll eminent domain it. They'll take the next 8 feet.
Well, no, they made us widen the road. We added turn lane, everything else. So I'm sure over time there will be projects. Every building on 88 is set back for the most part. So, like, I'm sure they can probably figure out how do we make it a second lane? How do we add turn lanes? Something.
Yeah.
Is that how you sweeten up the deal,
over
Jason?
time.
When you're doing new construction like that, is that how you sweeten up the deal with, like, the township itself and be like, well, if we're going to put this in, we're going to put in a new keyway, we're going to do this, I
wouldn't say sweeten up as much as they hammer down.
Yeah.
It wasn't me offering.
Yeah.
And again, in Route 88, it's a state road. The town, I love them. Brick has been amazing for us. It's more the state. Right. And as much as I give the state, they give me back.
Yeah, they're a racket, man.
Yeah.
They are a racket.
Yeah. So they literally just place on their demands and, every single week or two. Oh, we also want you to do this. Do you want me to or need me to? Well, we want you to, and also you can't finish the project unless you do it. Wow. Oh, that's a weird definition of want.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So it's not a want anymore.
Yeah.
This is being forced upon.
And then when you're dealing with mass distribution like this, like you have to deal with all sorts of FDA regulations as well, right?
FDA doesn't really do much with breweries. And my background is food science. Like I've dealt with the FDA before. I've dealt with USDA before. But no, FDA doesn't really care too much about breweries because most of our products are all generally recognized as safe. FDA is very responsive. If there was ever an issue in the brewing world, if people started getting sick, if there was any issues, then they would step in because there never has been. It's no different than, you hear about like peanuts and stuff like that. Yeah. And all of a sudden, there's this outbreak, people are getting sick. Okay, FDA is going to be at every single peanut warehouse, every single peanut processing plant because there's no issues with beer because combination of fermentation, so you have alcohol and you have CO2. So you have a package that should be safe. It's acidic. Nothing's really looking to grow there.
As long as you don't put a ton of fruit in there and have it
but
recombust
still, like,
while it's in the...
But also realize, like, things that can typically go wrong in brewing are also what other breweries are intentionally doing. No, it went sour.
Yeah.
Oh no, like all these things. Like, okay, you had an uncontrolled version of what someone else is doing for a living.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people are souring their beer on purpose.
Yeah.
They actually won. Didn't you guys win a couple of awards for sours?
Yeah.
Some of your sours
Yeah,
kind of.
I think we got for our Berliner Weisses as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, again, it was like crazy to me of like, these are the awards we're getting. The styles that we're probably like least known for, but like also like honestly probably have the most fun with.
But I mean, they're based on reviews, so
Yeah.
they're based on other people trying your beer, giving you a rating, and then at the end of the year, it's just a balanced rating that was better than other people's sours, which is awesome. So, I know you weren't expecting it, but the sours and the dark beers kind of came out of nowhere for me. Like, it was awesome.
What came out of nowhere for me, Jason, is when I went on your menu at the very bottom of it, you do like cold brew.
So we work with offshore coffee roasters at a Long Branch, like some of the best coffee I've had in general. Great people. One part of the new laws, we're allowed to serve non-alcoholic products.
Right. Yes.
And also not produced by us, which then means that we can work with local companies like offshore. And it's, hey, like, I watch it going to people today. Like when you have that, pregnant wife, when you have the friend that's a DD.
Yeah.
Like for them to be able to hold something other than a bottle of water,
Right.
it's pretty cool.
100%.
Yeah.
And hey, we support small business, and you get to support other local small
All
businesses.
succeed together. Right?
Isn't that a unique and fun thing that the government should be embracing?
Yeah, we like just reached out to a New Jersey-based veteran-owned soda manufacturer today. So I was like, hey,
Nice.
okay, we have something for adults.
Yeah.
What about when people come with their kids? Like, you're probably not giving your 7-year-old a cup of cold brew coffee. At least like not on my premise where they're about to destroy everything with their first taste of real caffeine.
Yeah.
Like, so also I was like, hey, like, does anyone in New Jersey make soda? And I'm like, of course they do.
There are. There are definitely some
We started
cool
reaching out
soda
to some
makers.
companies. So I was like, why aren't we serving this as well? To, again, provide that something craft for those who can't drink.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
So if you guys are just tuning in, we are here with Jason from Icarus Brewing Company. They were located in Lakewood. They are still located there until their facility is totally finished and ready to roll. So what's the ETA that you're thinking? I know that's a moving target.
Loaded question.
Yeah, so that's probably one I only hear about 300 times a day at this
Of
point.
course.
That's fully up to the state, not me.
Yeah.
If you read the original Asbury Park press article, I think we were supposed to be in there by the start of summer last year. So obviously my estimates have all been wrong.
Right.
I've aimed for that. I aimed for ahead of this anniversary, which was January.
Yeah.
I'm aiming for spring, which is, I think we're at 5 days. We're a few days from spring.
Right.
So
You have a fully working brew house in there? And
Yeah.
You've tested it out and everything?
No, we can't.
Can't even test it with water?
We could test with water.
But
the brew house came from Germany. They send 2 technicians.
Was it Braucon?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they send 2 technicians to teach us on it for 2 weeks. I'm not having them come out to do a water batch with us.
No, of
that
course
just
not.
wouldn't make sense. Have them for 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is their 10th water batch this week. Yep.
It
Doing
heats up
great.
nicely
Yeah.
and it transfers well.
I'd rather like have them come out when the system's actually, can be used to its full capability.
Sure.
So we're really waiting the ABC to know when we can move our license over.
That's awesome.
Who comes up with? Is it you personally, or do you have a crew of people? A 3 to 5 beer turnaround on a weekly basis. Like, who comes up with these recipes or these ideas?
So it's very collaborative. So originally, a lot of it was me, just writing recipes. Just to me, writing recipes is fun.
It's your passion.
Yeah, it's like my favorite part of running a brewery. It's not the dealing with the ABC, dealing with paying taxes. It's not dealing with ordering ingredients. It's not dealing, all the minutia of running a business. It is writing recipes. Like, that's the most fun for me. Like figuring out something new, figuring out work with new ingredients, new hops, new yeast, new grains. Just, always learning something new and how to make something better.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, was always me. Nowadays, it's transitioned to a lot more to my brewers, to my head brewer Dave, my lead brewer Nick, to now my assistant brewer Alex. All of them just sort of coming up with what we call the Brewers Series. So they get to pick any style they want, come up with a recipe. I'll work with them on it, and then we brew it. And then, it's based off that, like that's how they get some bonuses
so
as
do
well.
You guys get together collaboratively? Like, obviously, the question is kind of a silly question, but like, do you have like a set night that's like, all right, all the guys are gonna get together. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna try these flavors before we like mass batch it to put it out, or do you just let them run with it?
No, I let them run with it.
Wow.
Like, they'll submit me recipes whenever, and I'll see when I can pencil into the schedule. It's just more fun that way.
So you have a great team then, because you have.
Oh yeah,
100%
I trust them
in that.
fully.
Yeah, I mean, you earn that trust after many times that they've been successful with their recipes, and you start to put trust in the guys that know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, it's all about pride for us. Your name is on that can. Like for me, like every single Icarus beer, like my name is behind it, whether the name is on it or not.
Right.
However, for them, the second they get a Brewers Series beer, their name is on that label. Everyone knows it's them. We show that off to the world. So how people enjoying it matters to them. So they're making the best beer physically possible.
It's your rep.
Yeah. And again, like that's why we all got into this industry. It wasn't about making the biggest brewery, distributing the most beers. It wasn't about, the coolest labels. Maybe for our, like design team, coolest labels, sure.
Yeah.
But for us as brewers, it was all about like, I want to make the best beer physically possible.
100%.
Work with all the best ingredients, cut no corners, because that's our name behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
I can relate to that as a business owner 100%, man. We all take great, everybody here is incredible, and everybody's really great at what they do here. And as an owner, I have full confidence in what they do. They know better than me, and that's everything. And I can see from an esteem point of view too, for them, like it's got to be rewarding to be able to come up with a recipe, distribute it, and you see success from that. I think that it's probably really great company morale or business morale for them to have that leash from you to say, hey, look, like let's put this out there. We're doing only the best of the best, and you're winning awards for it nonetheless.
Like we've all worked places, I've worked for countless people. I'm sure each of you as well, where you just don't get that freedom in the workplace.
Right.
Where it's like, this is my job. I cannot step a foot on either side of it. Every day I show up, I put my head down, and I look forward to punching out. Like every day. Then you also have those bosses, you have those jobs where like you're rewarded for your creativity, where, you feel like, you put in a little bit more work and you're getting a little bit more back. Like it's a very different feeling going to work every day like that. And like I am so lucky that I trust all of my staff enough.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That like they can do that, and honestly, they crush it. Like the fact that I've been able to step away the last now 3 years working on the project of building out the new location, I know for a fact the production team will handle everything.
That's true business ownership right there, right? That's not being self-employed. That's business ownership at that point, right? That allows you as the owner to pursue things that will grow your business instead of being boots on the ground and having to be physically there brewing or overseeing the ingredients that go into each one. Because as a business owner, right, you can't really you can only spread yourself out so far, right? And then once you do that or overspread yourself, something is going to get left in the dust or behind, or you're not going to have that opportunity to grow the same way. So, that's amazing that you have that staff, and that's few and far between to find always too. It's really hard to find people that are
in the beer industry in general. There's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of head brewers that go and do their own thing, or they think the grass is greener and they go somewhere else, and it's hard to put that trust in your guys.
Yeah, I'm very lucky in the fact that for the most part, like almost all my staff has been there for ages at this point.
Right.
My head brewer has been there, since he was just helping out for a little while. In between his day job helping out. Eventually, became an assistant brewer, lead brewer, head brewer, worked the whole way up. Like, I know everything he knows about brewing, I've taught him, Therefore, he is able to teach everyone at this point. Like the fact that each of these people have been there for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever it is crazy to me. But it's just also amazing because the downfall of any business, like you said, is just turnover. You know, you have people that are there, you know, that institutional knowledge starts disappearing when,
Right.
you know, every year or two you're losing your head brewer, your lead brewer, your assistant brewer. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, there's this piece of machinery here that no one currently on staff has ever even used before.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know how to brew beer, but not a lot of people know how to do it in your brew house, the way you guys operate, at the timing that you guys know, and, you know, the efficiency level and all of that kind of stuff. You know, that's a learned process. And when you keep having crazy turnover, it's hard to keep putting out the same product.
Yeah.
You know, consistency is what makes a brewery so fantastic.
Gotta have the right chefs.
If every time you put out Power Juicer, it's the same quality, people rely on it, and then they go, you know, another Power Juicer variant came out, we're going to go grab it. When you keep losing guys and things go up and down and up and down, it's tumultuous for your business, and the quality changes. What's up, Dominic? Dominic Matliano said hi. So he's a brick guy.
Nice.
So
Well, go over to Icarus
100%.
and
Yeah.
grab yourself some brews, and soon they'll be in your hood.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, Lakewood's the next town over, so you're close either way. So get over there and see them if you haven't already. But let's get back to the size difference between the brewery that you're in now and where you're going. For people that aren't really educated about beer, what's the size of your brewery that you're in now? What's the size of the brew house?
So right now we're on a 2-vessel, 10-barrel system. Barrel is, you know, the large kegs you see around is a half barrel, 15 and a half gallons. So every time we brew right now, it's 20 of those, which would be 10 barrels.
Right. The new system is
The new
going
system
to be
is 20-barrel, 3-vessel. So every time we brew, 40 half-barrel kegs. But the third vessel means that we can brew a little bit more efficiently. We can brew more batches a day in the same amount of time.
right.
Even though the system is double the size of our current one, we can actually triple our production with the same amount of man hours that we're currently using.
Awesome. And you guys
Yeah.
do sometimes like 3 brew batches in a day, right?
Typically every Monday is 4.
4?
Yeah.
So you have
That's-
guys that are working 10-hour shifts?
Yeah.
And you have
Multiple
2
shifts,
of
yeah.
those. Wow, that brew house is cooking
Yeah.
literally morning to night
Wow.
and
Yeah.
into the morning again.
Yeah, 20 hours of brewing typically on
That
Mondays.
poor brew house that
Yeah.
needs a
Yeah.
rest.
Uh-huh.
So how long does it take typically to brew a batch? in
So right now
general?
it's about 5 hours a batch.
5 hours a batch, and then in between each batch, you have to clean.
If we're doing the same beer, we have the processes overlapping enough that there's no downtime.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, once you have pulled grain out, you're pretty much ready to throw the next batch in. So things are all overlapping a bit. But on
But
the
that
new
third vessel is going to make
Yeah.
it so you can transfer to that vessel,
Yep.
get everything out,
Yep.
and then start your process over.
Yeah, so that'll allow us, for no matter what, one batch will be 5 hours. The second batch on the new system will be an additional 4 hours. So that starts cutting time real fast.
Right, because he doesn't have to reheat the water. He's already
Yeah.
heating
Yeah.
it
Okay.
when he's transferring. There's just going to be a cutoff that he doesn't have to sit and wait like he did with that first batch.
Correct.
So-
Just so much more efficient.
Yeah.
I have another question too about like the process itself, and it like, you know, like pizza. They say pizza, and I'm obviously not comparing the two, but pizza here is indicative to the water and things like that. So you know, with your particular brews, do you have like specific areas that you ascertain your grains from that like are, you know, is that like part of the key to the success of a brew? Like you get grain from Utah, or you get, you know, grain locally, or how does that work?
Every ingredient matters.
Yeah.
Like every possible part of the brewing process matters. I mean, you start with water. You know, if the beer is 7% alcohol, it is 93% water. Therefore, when I decide to use, you know, water from my facility in Lakewood, which luckily is the same water supply as the facility in Brick, which is a pretty cool perk for me, it'll be very different than, you say, using water in Arizona. You know, whatever your local water quality is, like you're going to taste that in the beer.
Sure.
Right.
Let alone the fact that, in addition to that, the mineral content of the water. If there's more chlorides, it affects the body and fullness of the beer. If you have more sulfates, it affects the bitterness on it. The pH matters. Something as simple as the magnesium in it will affect the yeast vitality. So we're sending our water for testing regularly to know what that content is, to know how to adjust it.
Wow.
Some places, you might have terrible water and you need to just RO, reverse osmosis, your water to bring it down to nothing.
And then add what you want.
Yeah, because your water just isn't even suitable for brewing.
Right.
Or, if you're a huge brewer like Guinness, you're also doing that. That way, then your product being produced in South Africa tastes the same as Ireland, tastes the same as Canada. But that's a very different world of why you would do that. So, yeah, water matters. Where you're sourcing your grain from matters. We bring in a lot of grain from the UK, which probably is because of brewing out there. I just love English malts. Use a English Golden Promise versus an American Turo barley. Same base barley, just different growing areas, different lineages of barley. The American Turo probably tastes most similar to, say, white bread, whereas you have that English Golden Promise. That's like sweet potato bread. They're both bread.
Right.
But, different uses.
Wow, Jason, it's safe to say that you are the Walter White of beer. It's literally chemistry, bro.
That is sort of what I went to school for,
Yeah.
and what I originally wanted to do. So yeah.
Well, why not make beer instead? That's way better.
It's a hell of a lot more fun to work in a lab. I don't miss that.
You still get to work with beakers, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
All right. I have to say, as a not a beer guy, this is pretty delicious.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I'm getting into the second one.
Entry-level
This
hop
one
there.
is a triple dry hopped power juicer, which is triple Citra. So they're using the Citra hop in every edition that they do. And it is coming in at 7.5%. So nothing crazy.
Bro, I'm going to be drunk after this.
Oh,
show.
come
I
on.
don't
You're
even
Mr. Whiskey, right? Whiskey's
like
way
one
stronger
whiskey,
than that.
with on the rocks or neat.
Okay, so this is equivalent to 2.
Yeah. Suck it up. That's what the show is about. It's about
I'm gonna need that pizza
branching
to sop
out.
this up a little
The pizza will help out. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, we are with Jason from Icarus Brewing, and they're located in Lakewood right now. They are building a beautiful facility over in Brick, New Jersey. So if you guys are familiar with Brick, if you're not familiar with Brick, it's exit 91 on the Parkway.
Yes, I will.
There you go. Tell me a little bit about oat fluffed. So it says oat fluffed. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so oat fluffed is a process we started now maybe like a year or two ago. Lactose had gotten huge into craft beer.
Right.
Add a little bit of mouthfeel, some sweetness. It was something that definitely had its place in beer. But selfishly, I'm lactose intolerant. I couldn't have it anymore.
So many people found out they were lactose intolerant by drinking too much of the milkshake beers and all of a sudden having to sprint to the facilities and not understanding why.
So we not that we created the process, but we're using a process that pretty much doing the equivalent of making oat milk.
Yeah.
So you're using the oats to fluff the flavor of the beer. You're using it to add that body, that mouthfeel, that bit of sweetness without it being sweet.
So then how are you pulling that off? What's the techniques that you're doing?
Such an overwhelming amount of oats.
Yeah.
Like a ton of malted oats and just extended steeping.
You're just overwhelming the amount of oats and then allowing the oats to get fluffy without getting over
Don't
crazy
you talk dirty
saturated.
to
Right?
me, PJ.
But yeah, that lends itself to the sweetness level, to the mouthfeel, to the overall kind of coating on your mouth when you drink it. I mean, the smell is amazing, which is Citra.
Yeah.
Citra is one of the most aromatic hops that there are, and it's why it's so popular in basically like half of the IPAs that we do.
It's almost like a cheat hop in a craft beer. Like it's just almost the perfect hop of just like that sweet, that citrus. The it pops without the bitterness, without the pine.
There you go. I think you're in the screen, so go ahead and pour that puppy.
So I didn't want to interrupt Jason.
No, go
All
ahead
right,
and
Jason,
pour
watch.
it.
You ready?
So do
I'm
a
ready
tilt.
I'm ready for the hard pour.
I'm not
yeah.
going to do the hard pour. I'm not going to do it.
Do a little 45 for about halfway, and then give it a rigorous pour. Don't drop it, though.
That was alcohol abuse.
Yes. All right.
We're
So
putting you on
then,
the spot here, so.
so then when you're about half full, tip it straight, and then
Yeah.
give yourself some head. Now go aggressive. And don't be afraid. Without it overflowing.
Oh, God. Okay.
Now go sip it. Oh, don't put your finger in it. Just go sip
This
it.
is truly a British beer right here. With
Doing great.
Again, Jason just died inside a little bit. He's like, bro, I'm
Wah.
never coming on this show again. This
not-
is ridiculous.
Not my desk, not my problem.
Yeah,
shout
exactly.
out to PJ on these killer cups, by the way. I'm rocking the Baby Yoda.
He's got Baby Yoda. We got 311 over there in Jason's cup. We have one stationed over here for our pizza guy in about 15 minutes. That is the Answer down in Virginia. They got like a Louis Vuitton type of pattern. And then we always post the fails. This is our beer chug league that we made back in the day when we had EGT in full force back in 2018 and 19. And the beer chug league chugged a lot of Icarus back in the day. There were a lot of brick guys that were
I
chugging.
still have my Beer Chug League T-shirt.
Nice.
That I sometimes wear out in public.
The Ziggler.
Which,
I mean,
oh yeah,
a couple of those you can't wear out in public.
Yeah.
But for people that don't know, it was a fun group that people would get home at the end of a work day, put down a couple of beers, but it was more about the camaraderie of things. Daniel Dixon just shouted out BCL. Robert Taylor just shouted out BCL as well. We got a question for you. Question. Any interest for Icarus in getting into meads?
I don't think we can.
Yeah, meaderies are they're governed like wine.
Yeah.
So it's a different set of laws. It's a different process altogether. So yeah, typically, unless you're going to go and get that other license, I don't think you can do.
We
meads.
just can't have it in the same facility right now.
Yep.
Again, if New Jersey was a more progressive state, if laws ever changed, yeah, I'd love to. I was down in Maryland, went to a brewery and found out they had some of the best meads I've ever had.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the place or?
I know it was very close to Baltimore Airport.
Close to Baltimore Airport. I'm going to have to look it up.
I know their designer also designs for PBS Kids because they have some of the coolest art labels I've ever seen.
Nice. So I have to shout out the best mead maker in New Jersey, who unfortunately had to close about a year and a half ago. Our man, Sergio Matuella. He is amazing at what he did with meads. It was Melavino. They are the premier mead maker in New Jersey. There are a couple other mead makers that have kind of made their way, and he carved out the way for meaderies. And we just have no real presence in New Jersey when it comes to meads.
I've never even had mead before.
So mead is
you're
basically,
missing out.
yeah, it's basically a honey wine.
Wow.
So they use honey as the fermenting sugar, and it creates a thick body type wine, basically. But
It's not always thick.
Not always thick. Yeah, it can be thin. It's but some of them can be hearty and thick.
Yeah.
But it gets like a stout versus an IPA. You can make it thinner, make it thin, thick. But so I mean, it's just the fermentation way. It's just basically fermenting with sugars
I've
that
known
are coming
it from
from
like,
the honey.
the Renaissance period or from
Yeah.
like Game of
Yeah.
Thrones
Exactly.
and stuff like
I mean, that's
that.
what they made. They made, I mean, you can make wine out of rice. You can make
Well, that's what the Asians
Japanese.
do, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
You can have
absolutely.
Sake, you can have
Sake,
soju.
yeah.
Charm City Mead Works. Frank Ferrant just shouted that one out. He's one of your guys, right?
That's not the one I'm thinking of, but yes, he is.
Yeah. What's up, Frankie?
This
So,
is pretty delicious, by the way.
Thank
it's
you.
very like fresh. It's very fresh feeling.
well, it was
Well,
just
I mean,
canned, right?
yeah, we did can this today, so
Yeah.
that'll do it. So it's like a little bit green right now, so you're like missing on some of the flavors, but it's still very good for as green as it is.
I was going to give you credit, though. I think you guys have come a long way with your greenness.
Yeah.
I think, 4 or 5 years ago, you guys are trying to churn out as much as you can. Sometimes it would be a little green, and you'd have to stick it in the fridge for a couple of days and just let it kind of
what does
settle.
that mean?
Green means a little too fresh.
Okay.
you're getting hop content that overpowers the beer sometimes.
Yes, a lot of times you still have your hops in solution, because no matter what we do have in solution, but you have too much of the vegetal nature of the hops in solution.
Yeah.
So you end up with that bitterness from it, and it'll settle out over time because it's an unfiltered product. There'll always be some, but no, we've just changed up our processes.
Yeah.
Like as we've learned, as we've tested things out, everything changes. We always find like a better way to do something, and I feel like, we're still churning beers out as fast.
Yeah.
They're just not that level of green anymore because
You're
of
just cleaning them up better, right? At the end, you're dropping it out a little bit better and a little quicker. Do you have any machinery that's helping you in that aspect?
I wish we had a centrifuge that would definitely do it. We don't. No, we've just changed up like our dry hopping profiles, our timing for pulling yeast, everything else. That's definitely allowed us to clean up how green it is. So it's fresh faster and stays fresh longer.
Are you dumping more times than you typically?
No.
No?
No.
So you're not losing a ton more
we just
product?
we change a lot on like when we dry hop.
Yeah. Okay.
So like moving it a little bit later in the process has helped. Change the length of time fermentation. The speed at which we crash chill. So just the minutia of the processes has allowed for it to be less green.
Nice. Very good. Because centrifuge is a cool way to clean up a beer really fast. It's expensive machinery, but basically it spins the beer at such a high rate that it allows for a separation of the hop particles and pulls them aside and gets them out. So hop particles are what's going to continue to ferment in your beer, and it's going to continue to
So it changes the flavor. If you don't
Cleans
get
it
all
up.
the particles out of it.
It would have naturally happened over time.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just speeding it up.
Yep.
Okay. So is that like a manual process for you? Like
No, I'm not sitting there spinning. Like no, it's a machine that spins the product for you. So you transfer in. It's spinning fast enough that solids
Yeah, but that's
want
the
to
centrifuge.
separate.
You said you don't have that, right?
Right.
Correct.
All right. So that's why I'm asking you. Like, what's your process then if you don't
Time.
have that?
Time and temperature.
Yeah. So again, like all these solids they're heavier than the liquid. They want to fall out of solution. It just takes time.
Right.
So we're giving it a little bit longer in tanks, whereas a brewer that has a centrifuge can speed up the process, cut a few days off, and then also because they're mechanically pulling all these solids out, honestly getting a little bit more yield out as well than we would. So we have to waste a little bit more of the beer and give it a little bit longer in tanks.
Okay, I get it. This is all like new to me. I mean, you're at an unfair disadvantage because you've done some brewery stuff before, and I'm not a big drinker, so I'm always curious how like the process.
Yeah, I was the head
really
brewer
works.
for Ross Brewing. Shout out Ross Brewing. They're over in Port Monmouth, and they're doing some fun things up there as well.
It looks like you got some fans in chat too, by the way, Jason.
Yeah, Keith Cowenbergs just said, Icarus, I love their beers.
It's tasty.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Keith.
It's absolutely delicious. In about 5 minutes, I think, we're going to have our pizza showing up. So we're going to have a nice compliment to some beers now. We're going to sink our teeth into some pizza. If you're just joining us, I'd like you to share it on out. Please put it on your timeline. Let everybody know we're here with Jason from Icarus Brewing Company. If you guys are interested in the process of brewing, go to the brewery, because the biggest thing about going to a brewery is the tour that we get. It's a requirement, so you have to take a tour once a year.
Whoa. It's not a requirement.
It's not a requirement anymore. Is that part?
Yeah.
So you don't have to give everybody an education on the beer anymore?
No, like we still. So like the whole thing is like, I don't know how much we were enforcing it before. My whole thing is, if you're coming to a brewery and you want to see the brew house,
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to walk.
It's
you through it.
exciting for
Like,
us to show you,
I
right?
I want to come.
Like, I love giving tours, showing people. You see people like, again, you see someone who knows nothing about beer learning for the first time. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like as a brewer, it's cool showing off what you love doing to someone that just doesn't know anything, because it's just giving them so many ideas.
Right.
Whereas when I had to tell people, hey, I understand you just came down from Kane. You were over at Carton earlier. You're going to go somewhere after me. You were at a brewery yesterday. You were at 2 breweries last week.
You've seen breweries.
Do you want to see a mash tun? Oh, no? Well, you have to anyway. That was just me asking nicely.
Right.
So
I would be interested in taking a tour. Can we come with a camera?
Sure.
You know, we'll bring Neil down. Neil,
Heck yeah.
you can come down.
You can see whatever you want. I'll show you around.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah.
I've never been in a brewery, actually, you know, so that's why, like I said, I have all these, like, silly questions. You're like, bro, you don't know the answer to this, you know?
I've given so many tours at this point, like, and the coolest one sometimes, like, someone asked me to give a tour to a children's softball team, and these, like, 12, 13-year-olds were like, asking so many questions that I never, like, thought to ask before. It was, like, the coolest thing. And, like, you know, just, like, hopefully, like, inspiring, like, future brewers, things like that. Or honestly, hopefully inspiring people to never want to work in a brewery. But either way, you know, teaching them something or other.
Right.
You know, I give a tour to people that, like, oh, I repair pools for a living. All they care about is seeing the heat exchanger. And they have 1,000 questions about the heat exchanger. So, like, I don't know. That's always, like, cool to me. But at the same time, like, if you don't want to take a tour, like, if you're really showing up because you want to try 5 different beers because you just finished work and you want to try something new and then get a pint of yacht juice, all the power to you.
Yeah. And thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I got a distribution question for you. So aside, obviously, we know we can get it here. But as for your distribution, are you on like a national basis or regional basis? Can anybody get your beer anywhere, or how does that work?
So we sell in 16 counties across New Jersey right now.
Okay.
We self-distribute. It's our own vans, our own salespeople going around the state. We do sell to a distributor in Pennsylvania and then New York. So, like, sometimes we have our beer across New York State. Sometimes we have our beer across, like, eastern PA.
Okay.
But, like, otherwise, it's mainly New Jersey.
Cool.
And just those 16 counties.
Is there, like, any kind of, like, is that something for you to consider for your future of Icarus? Like, to quantify your, or distribute on a larger basis on a national, or is not something in the plans?
It's not something I've ever, like, really wanted to do.
Okay.
You know,
Keep
I'm
it
happy
super
like
simple.
where we're at. I'd be happy selling a little bit more to New York, a little bit more to PA.
Okay.
Was that
Yeah.
alcohol aided? Did you say keep it stupid simple?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I had to call that
Well,
one
the
out.
reason why I asked you for that, because we're also live on Twitch, and some of our old, awesome, loyal viewers from the past are in here, and I know that there's this gentleman named Jimmy in watching us right now, and he's a big beer drinker, but I believe Jimmy lives out in Colorado. So before I, put my foot in my mouth and said, Jimmy, you should try to get some of this beer, you'll just have to come here to the local area to get it, and you can take it
Yeah,
back with you.
get like a local friend to illegally ship it to
That's
him.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody does.
As a local, I'm going to be selfish and say I want you to saturate New Jersey and not go outside New Jersey because, in general, some of the great stuff comes out, and I can't even get my hands on it unless I'm there to buy it at the brew house, to buy it at the tasting room. So, yeah, I mean, as a local, it's our special little gem right now.
Yeah, and
I
our
like
whole
it.
model is based off everything being fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So based off that, like, I'd be so afraid to send beer around the country, across the world. We do work with distributors. We worked with Tavor, and with Tavor, they'll take our beer, ship it to your house anywhere in the country. We do work with a distributor internationally, and we'll send like a few drops here and there. Like there was one point where the most check-ins on Untapped for us were in Kiev, like in Ukraine.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like the weirdest thing to me.
Is that because you had a Kalashnikov and they were interested?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah,
they saw that and they were like,
they
"Oh."
ordered one and the wrong one showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They ordered a Kalashnikov
Yeah.
and they were like, why is beer
Yeah,
here?
why is it so cheap? Yeah. But yeah, so like we've worked with them, but like these are companies that like keep it cold and get like right to consumers' hands fresh still. But like those are rarities. Typically, like you start selling, to a distributor around the country, you lose track on how long it's out there in the world. I'm a big fan of right now across New Jersey. It's my drivers going to these places. They're dropping off 2-3 cases a week to these stores. And if they see that they have beer, in their cold space, that's more than 3-4 weeks old,
Yeah.
they're letting us know. We're like, hey, like, let's either buy some beer back from you. Let's hold off on selling you for like a week or two until you're sold out. Like, that way we know, like, there's always a, like, fresh rotation. I don't want to ever find out that, hey, yeah, there's one store up in Jersey City, and I can always find, like, 4 or 5 month old Icarus IPAs there. Like, hey, I don't want to work with this place anymore.
Right.
Because,
They're obviously not pushing your product or selling it.
yeah, we're trying to, it's the hardest way to distribute, but like rather than send 10, 15 cases a week to these places, most liquor stores, we send them 2-3 cases and stop more often. That way it's everything as fresh as possible. If you want it, get it while it's fresh because it won't be there in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing 3 to 5 beers a week. I want you to be able to have, that 4-day-old Icarus beer. I want you to be able to go to your local liquor store and be like, wow, this is only 4 days old. Like look on the bottom of the can. That was packaged last week.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Like you're not getting beer from California that was packaged a week ago. No. You're lucky if it was packaged 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you not being a beer guy, I'll let you know that once hops hit like a month or two, they start to degrade. And then by 3 months, it just doesn't taste like the same beer anymore.
But last week you were drinking a beer that was like aged. It was like 2019. So how does that work out?
That's a
then?
stout. Stouts are on the complete
totally
other end of the spectrum.
Totally different. Okay.
So a stout has a heavier body, and it carries those flavors longer. You're not reliant on hops.
Okay.
You're focused on the barrel age aspect of that beer. So the beer carries longer, and it ages and matures, and the flavors develop, and actually changes for the better a lot of times for over the course of the years.
Yeah. See, I told you I don't know anything about beer.
So once again, so actually our pizza is at the door.
Is it?
So I am going to scoot for a moment and let him in.
Yeah, just tell him to come in.
He said, I'm by the brew guy's van. So I'm going to go out there and let him in, and
Cool.
we'll get our pizza.
So you do home delivery too, it looks like here.
Yeah, we do home delivery in I think every single area that we sell to. So that's something that we were allowed to starting during COVID, and we've kept up with, which is like really cool to me because like you could be living in Cherry Hill and you still get a delivery from us every other week, like right to your door. So it feels like we're your local brewery.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like we're an hour away. We're on the other end of the state, but it's our taproom staff doing the delivery with our vehicles, dropping that beer off fresh as could be. So you're getting, no different than like the milkman dropping off milk to your door. We're dropping off craft beer to you without you having to like leave your house.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool service, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you'll never get that from obviously a major distributor. Like, that's crazy about that. That's not, it seems like you're super passionate about just like the intimacy of the product itself.
Yeah, I think we charge a whopping $4 for home delivery, no matter where you are in the state.
Yeah, I see that on here. It's not expensive at all. There's a $4 delivery surcharge on your website.
Yeah, so like we have so many people that like it's just, at this point it's a standing order. Like everyone knows that like, I get my Icarus every week or every other week delivered right to my house, and like that's what it is.
Wow.
Like my fridge will always be stocked. I'm always gonna order the newest stuff, whether it's cans, a keg, whatever it is, right to your door. That way, like you don't even have to get up. You don't even have to go out.
Wow.
All right, guys. So our pizza has showed up. You can smell it down the hallway. So I want to transition over to my left. He's just having a seat. But it smells ridiculous. We have Joe Brignoni. Joe from Joe's Rotisseria over in Asbury Park. Joe, meet Jason. He is from Icarus Brewing Company down in Lakewood, New Jersey, and soon to be over in Brick. But he's had your pizza before, too, and he raved about it, saying how great it was. So good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice meeting you, Jason. Looking forward to doing future collabs together with the pizza truck and everything. So.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got a pizza truck as well.
Really?
So something to talk about. See if we can get some Joe's Rotisseria there. So, Joe, where was the inspiration for Joe's Rotisseria? What started the process? I know there's one in Roselle Park, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, in college, I was a Walt Disney World line cook, so I worked in all the restaurants in Magic Kingdom.
That's awesome.
Pizza shops, bakeries, ice cream shops, you name it.
That was going to be my talking point, Joe. I had that written down here.
Nice.
But so when I came back home, I bought a failing pizzeria in Roselle Park for about $31K. And I was 21 at the time, and I just I was like, you know what, let me fly home, do it right, and came home, bought the failing pizzeria, bought it on Craigslist. You know what I mean?
Did you really?
Yeah. So it was a good little startup story, Craigslist.
That's awesome.
That was back in 2015, right?
Yes, 2015. Yeah, so it's 10 years, almost. So it's been a long journey.
So that location is still alive and well, doing good things.
Yeah.
Are you most every day in Asbury, or?
Yeah, I actually live down here.
Yeah.
It's my Roseau Park location is only about 900 square feet. Our Asbury location is about 3,500 square feet with 65 seats. So it's a
Nice.
lot bigger, and just want to be there, full time, and just make sure everything's running smoothly. It's more of a sit down restaurant.
Right.
As where Roseau Park is, we got 4 tables, and
It's really just order ahead, get it, and get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So some of the things that make you unique are your creations that are just one-off creations that you've come up with. They're like half the fun of Joe's Rotisseria.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you, what made you do chicken as well?
I feel like, everyone goes on a diet in January,
Right.
and, sales decline. And I feel like having the rotisserie chicken there just
Keeps people coming back to you, right?
Exactly.
That's smart.
Whoever's on a diet for the month of January and February,
Yeah.
once Valentine's Day comes around, everyone falls off the diet and we get back to the regular show. But from January to February, the rotisserie chicken, keeps my sales afloat to where it needs to be. And then once,
That makes you almost recession proof. It's like
Hey,
people love their rotisserie chicken when they're watching themselves,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
Smart. And then they just smell your pizza so much that they're like, screw the diet. I got to go
Yeah.
eat some of those
By the
garlic
way,
nuts.
it is daunting how good it smells,
Right?
actually.
The
I
whole
feel like a
room just
fat
smells
person
like
right
garlic
now.
Can I
right
grab
now.
one of these, or?
Absolutely,
yeah,
man.
they're
Go
for
right
you,
ahead.
man.
So, I don't know if
That's the cup
you're,
for you.
I don't know if you're into dark or light, but we have an Irish style export stout with chocolate caramel and pecans.
Okay.
But it's a light one. It's 4.9%, so
We'll
it's
check
easy.
out both of them, I guess.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
called Our Riviera. It's kind of like their play on like chocolate turtles,
I'm a big chocolate guy.
right?
So, yeah.
Me too. So
Yeah,
this smells amazing.
Oh, you brought plates. You brought
Plates.
bro.
You are just self-sufficient,
And
which
this
I
answers
love.
my question about what I said
I said,
earlier.
how are we going to cut into this thing?
I said, you know what? Let me bring you guys a pizza cutter. So
He
you have
even
it
look.
here.
It's a brand new
It's
pizza
incredible,
cutter.
actually.
brand new guy for
That's
the
a
house.
man who thinks ahead. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
And you brought a triple threat too, right? So
Yes.
that's
I
what I
got-
was wondering. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
got a
gotta
triple
travel.
threat that you can smell right through
Oh,
the door.
let's just see it,
I
dude.
got thunder sticks. I brought 4 thunder sticks. 2 of them I cut in half already, so you
Flip it
guys
this
can,
way.
really get into town with that. But yeah, the triple threat is basically, back in 2015, I was just a normal pizzeria, and
that side.
sales were, mediocre at best. And I was like, you know what? I need to bring something to the table that's gonna really, elevate the sales of my brand and just, kind of distinguish me from other pizzerias. And
Sure.
I think, the triple threat, the Calzone garlic naan pizza, really does the job. You know what I mean? So
Everybody does pizza, but not everybody does pizza, garlic nuts,
Exactly.
and calzone. So, yeah, maybe if you're just looking for a pizza, this might not be your flavor.
Bro, this is my dream
But
pizza.
this thing is like every good Italian thing on one pizza. It smells amazing. So did you try and fail for a while to come up with the
so-
exact style? Or
So at first we failed a couple times because of calzone, and stuff like that, and we put the garlic knots on the calzone, so it kind of kept the calzone weighted, so the crust wasn't lifting up, and pretty much the garlic knots are the weight of the calzone, keeps everything together, and
Right.
it's an extra threat to the triple threat.
how many of these do you sell in like a normal day?
I can't disclose the number on live air, but
It's a good amount.
just because it's tax season, you know what I mean?
I like that. He sells enough. You don't need to know.
It's enough. Don't
It's
worry
enough.
about it.
Don't
all right?
worry about it. Right now, are you? Even though you're in Asbury Park, it's the slow season in Asbury Park.
Yes.
Are you getting those reliable customers that come in all the time? Is it tough right now?
I mean, right now you're looking at, it's a seasonal business. Asbury Park, people go there, they eat, and they leave. Not many people live in the, 2 mile square town. And if you do, we definitely have our local clientele. But as far as,
you're looking forward to that summer again,
that
right?
summer just hits simply different. You're
going to eat with us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, the summer just brings in, crowds from all over the world that come to the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
And you get to meet people even from different countries. And I think that's great because they saw us on Food Network. I was on Guys Grocery Games last night.
Which was on last night, right?
Yeah,
the replay was on last night.
Yeah, it was great. So anytime that episode kind of replays, you get
an influx of business.
Influx of followers, influx of emails of, oh, I saw the show last night. I like what you did. You should have won, blah, blah, blah. And
how did you get linked up with that?
they just simply DM'd me. Yeah, they just, I had their producer DM'd me, and, I answered a DM. We got on the phone. We did a couple interviews, and, from there on out, it was...
Cut it up, man.
It was ready to go.
All right, so give us some technique. How should we be cutting this puppy up?
Joe should be cutting
traditionally, we cut it straight across. If you're, with the family, you would cut it straight across so that one slice is, the calzone garlic naan and pizza. But for us, we can cut it up in separate ways just so everybody can try the pizza first, the garlic knots. I brought a big tub of sauce over here.
Yeah, all right.
And,
so why don't we cut up some pepperoni pizza slices?
Yeah, I would cut it up.
Then
into,
we'll pop off some
triangles if you want. And I would go around the calzone.
Joe, I want to let you do it, bro.
Do you want to slide over here?
Like, this thing is beautiful, and I feel like criminal over here right now trying to cut this.
But if we get to see how you do it, then when we order it, we're going to be professionals. All right, so right outside of the garlic knots, he's doing a nice cut, so it kind of separates the calzone and the garlic knots from the pizza itself. So then we got triangles.
I thought you were a pizza guy. What happened here? Hey,
We got to get ourselves the big one that you go,
knife guy, right?
Yeah.
Gotta go over to the Restaurant Depot and grab
it's right down the street.
The Pro,
right?
The Pro, yeah. Mm-hmm. I have a membership. Never use it, but
so
all right.
There's
I don't want to touch.
You can touch my pie. Don't worry.
You can touch
not
my
that one. I don't want
party
that one.
foul.
I'm sure I've had worse germs in my life. You know what I mean?
So now I'm going to give a try to the pepperoni pizza by itself.
Yeah, that's it's pretty good. You can get any topping. Some people go crazy. They get, penne vodka, stuff like that. And it's all about, the grande cheese. You got to be using grande, palio. If you want a good fat content for your
it's not crazy
pizza.
Oily, which is impressive.
Exactly.
With that much
You
pepperoni
can't use
on
cheap
it.
cheese, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You really can't.
Cheap cheese mixed with certain pepperoni
Oh my god.
is like the worst combo ever. And it
Gotta
just
use
drips.
the Hormel. I'm a big Hormel guy. Shout out
like
to
it.
Hormel. I think they're doing things right over there with their meat blends, and there's a nice crisp that goes on with the pepperoni, especially with the pepperoni cups. So,
So my question to you is, do you have to
this beer
time?
is phenomenal. By the way.
It's delicious, right?
Delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah, can't wait to do things with you, man.
Do you have to time this out where you cook certain parts of it first and then add more topping?
Nah,
or
it's pretty much done all at once.
Yeah.
There's a proprietary method that we have so the calzone doesn't overcook more than the pizza that we can't talk about, but. It's just you train your staff right, and they know what you want, and if they don't know, they'll hear it.
They'll learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So, yeah.
They add in here that this is so good, bro. This is
so Robert Taylor says, he's a California guy, by the way. I'm of the mind that even shitty pizza is still good because it's still pizza.
I mean, in
Pizza-
California, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Pizza's the most perfect food ever created. We are spoiled over here on the East Coast. We know it because it is just elite pizza in this area.
There's so much competition in this
100%.
area. It is legitimately crazy. There is legitimately, as far as competition goes, in New Jersey is just packed with powerhouse pizzerias, and you got to do things that are going to bring people in the door, want to take pictures of your food. I feel like if a customer is pulling out their phone before they even eat their food, they're excited to be there. You know what I mean? They want the phone to eat first, and I just think that, you know, there's an excitement going on when you're eating food. Now, when you go to, you know, Domino's or whatever, you're not pulling out your phone and taking pictures of a cheese.
You're not telling anybody. You're just doing that at
But I'm not
11
gonna lie.
o'clock at night.
Yeah, but that's depression eating. That's different.
Exactly. 100%. But that's what I'm saying. It's 11 o'clock at night at home. You got nothing else that's open at the time, so you're ordering some Domino's.
Hey, there's been some nights where I've been in Atlantic City, and
That's all
you know,
of us,
you're just
right?
like door dashing Domino's.
Soak
to the
up
room,
what I
you know
just
what I mean?
drank for the last 6 hours, right?
Late night Atlantic City, better be at Tony's Baltimore Grill.
Yeah,
Like, I think
for
they're
sure.
serving food till like 2, 3 a.m.
I think they're 24 hours
they?
now. Yeah, I think so. The last
I
time I
know
was
the,
there
I
like
think
last
the bar
week.
is. I didn't know the kitchen was.
Yeah, it's I went there last week and they were open 24 hours. I stayed at the Trop and just
Oh,
you know
yeah, it's
walked
right
over.
there.
Yeah,
That's heaven on earth.
Did you
right
have a
there.
piece yet?
Yeah, I'll take a piece.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you take a piece.
Try your own pizza, bro.
I love that.
I know the guy who made it.
Yeah, I did too.
So we're getting into the triple threat right now. If you guys are just joining us, it is a calzone, cheese calzone. It's got garlic knots, which we just have been smelling from the moment you came in here. It's that delicious garlic butter sauce that's on the top. And then it's got pepperoni pizza around the outside as well. Now you have 2 other boxes over here.
Yeah, I brought my 2 best flavors of wings. And I took a 20-minute drive. They still should be crunchy. we'll
But
see
you
what
do
happens.
wings a very unique
Yeah, you're
way.
supposed to be
Yeah, we do
super
wings in
crispy
a
this side.
pressure fryer. It's a $50,000 unit. I always tell people.
Oh my goodness.
His visuals of his wings are the best things ever because they look crispy.
I was so afraid of you bringing wings.
Oh my
I am the most
goodness.
disgusting wing eater in the world.
Oh, good.
Man, I'm here for it.
Neil,
I'm
put
here
the
for it.
camera on Jason
Yeah.
while he's eating the wings. I
Like,
want to
I'm
make sure
about
we
the
get that.
marrow. I'm about every single bit.
Bro.
They look
Bro.
amazing.
I won't even eat wings in front of my girlfriend.
I'm married. It doesn't matter anymore. It's
They look beautiful.
They do. What am I looking at
Yeah,
right
tell
now?
us what the
is
2 wing
this?
flavors are.
So the first wing flavor is a chili lime dry rub. It's like a Mexican
this guy.
inspired dry rub, and I brought the limes over. You squeeze the lime right onto the wing,
Okay.
and it gives it that nice, back of the throat, acidity that you need with the dry rub. And I always tell people, they're like, Joe, what's the difference between a pressure fryer or a regular fryer? So when we're cooking these, regular fryer traditionally lets the steam out because there's no top on top of a regular fryer in a regular kitchen. So with the pressure fryer, it locks with like 4 different locks, and it keeps all the steam inside that wing. So when we're going raw to cooked, we're keeping all that moisture inside the wing.
Yeah, it's not
as well.
evaporating and
Exactly.
dissipating.
So it's actually helping the wing to cook faster. And we double fry it again in a regular fryer, and that's what gives it the crisp.
So you steam it first in the pressure cooker.
It's actually pressure fried.
Pressure fried.
Yeah, it's pressure fried. So it's fried in about 35 gallons of oil, and then the pressure stays on top of that oil so that no moisture gets out of the oil and the steam.
Awesome.
And then it's locked in with 4 different locks. It is a very dangerous machine.
I believe
you can
it.
You got to
legitimately
let the
lose
pressure out,
I'm
right?
the only one allowed in the shop that
Yeah.
uses the machine. I don't want any lawsuits or anything. And
You're easy to burn your face, I
I
think.
always
If it,
tell
hot
people,
oil.
you can only be as good as your equipment will allow you to be. You know,
Right.
if you're going up against a guy who doesn't have, this piece of equipment and, I do, it's always going to be 10 times better, when you're investing in yourself.
Are you the only? And I know you don't know this answer definitively.
I'm grabbing one,
but
by the way.
it is.
Oh, my God. They
you-
are like
they look so
fried
good. I can't
chicken.
wait.
I grabbed it, and it's
Yeah.
just crunchy.
And that's on a 20-minute drive.
Are
Go
you
grab
the
it.
only establishment that pretty much does wings this way?
I just think of it this way. A lot of pizzeria owners, they'll go out and buy a nice car, a Mercedes, this, that, and the other. I'd
That's
rather
incredible.
invest into the brand by
Yeah.
buying more equipment that's going to distinguish me better than the next company. So I'm going to invest my money 20 more times into my brand to make sure that people know how serious I am about taking wings to the next level.
That's genius, man, because you put your thumb on the nail before, and I said this last week as well. I feel like pizza places are the nail salon of the food industry.
There's
There's
so
one on
many.
every corner, man. And the thing is with them, they're super generic, right? So
Exactly.
like with the generic, like they don't find one thing and excel with it. So, shout out to you for having multiple items that you excel at, because a lot of these pizza places around here are they can't even do pizza.
Yeah.
And then they're throwing in cheesesteaks and they're throwing in wings.
Doing
they're
a whole
trying to do
bunch of
all these other
stuff,
things that they can't
lackluster,
do.
right?
Well, I think the reason why I do that is so I can see customers twice a week instead of once a week. You'll have a customer come in right after work,
All
order
right, so
10 wings.
I'm going to do a little ASMR right now
Do it
because
right
you
now.
guys have to hear. These are 25 minutes old at this point, right? At least.
At least, probably.
No, I mean, you cooked them probably 7:30, 7:45,
I
right?
probably cooked them at like 7:20, yeah. And those are still crunchy, yeah. It's all about the
Going in.
machinery.
Going in.
That is the crispiest wing I've ever had, and it's 45 minutes past when you cooked them.
No
This
sauce.
beer is phenomenal, though, man. I really can't. I can't wait to try the other one.
So John White said, I love Joe's Rotisseria. I've been ordering from his Roselle Park location 6 years
That's my
since
guy.
I started working up in Linden. He's like, you're doing big things. So
Thank you, man.
Kelly HQ said, I had slimy wings tonight. They were just gross.
Oh,
What?
damn.
Exactly.
No,
Should have came
these
to Joe's.
are so good, Kel.
that's stupid.
These are really good, man.
Thank you, man.
I'm
Yeah.
giving people ASMR because
It's crazy. And those are,
can't
imagine,
fake that.
imagine those getting right to the table. They're even
Oh, sizzling.
20 minutes, 20 times crunchier. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So
So if you want that kind of experience, get into Joe's Rotisseria in Asbury Park. Where are you located in Asbury?
504 Main Street. I want to say I'm a block and a half away from the infamous Johnny Max.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do we do at 10 o'clock in the summer, 10 to 3 a.m. We do dollar wings. So I think that's the best deal.
These are
at,
$1?
Dollar wings?
at 10 o'clock in the summertime from
Oh my
Memorial Day
God.
to Labor Day. Instead of you going somewhere else and wasting your money, come to Joe's.
Places charge $2 a wing, just like on average now.
That's it.
For like frozen wings.
Uh-huh.
Once the nighttime comes, that's it. It's time
Bro.
to. I feel like with the dollar wings, it's more of an advertisement. You're in the bar, you're in the club. You're thinking about the wings the whole time you're there. You're like, we're going to get dollar wings. We're not going anywhere else.
Right.
You can go out and get a $5 taco. Cool. It's gonna be gone in 2 seconds.
Yep.
But when you come in with a bunch of guys, you're with a 5 set of dudes. You're gonna get 100 wings,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and you're gonna leave happy, and you're gonna be ready to continue your night and doing greatness.
$20 a person,
So-
5 guys, and
That's
you're
it.
eating
100
that
wings.
king.
That's
Quantify,
it.
man. Quantify.
That's it.
These are really good. I'm going to try one of these other ones. I don't know
Those
why
are
one
my
of you guys.
favorites.
So
eat
what's
them.
the other
Thai.
flavor that
What
we're
is this
looking at?
flavor?
So I'm a big fan of a glaze, and those are our Thai glaze wings, a hot Thai glaze. I like a glazed wing because it's a sweet and sour, spicy, all in one. And
Cook the same way, and then you put the sauce on right at the end?
yes,
Flip it
Still
at the end?
super crispy, not slimy at all. With the
yeah, those are my go-to. And
This your sauce?
the best part of it, they're gluten free.
Get out.
These wings are gluten free.
My wife is allergic to wheat.
There's
And
not
she doesn't
one
find
ounce-
any-
There's not one speck of wheat inside my batter. It's all made with rice flour and
That's
gluten-free products.
amazing.
And there's a lot of gluten-free customers in Asbury Park. I wanted to take advantage of it. It's a gluten-free community out here.
Yeah.
And to know that we offer a lot of gluten-free products, especially those crispy wings, it's all about using, great ingredients. And, the reason why we went gluten-free is because I want to use a finer wheat, a finer grain that's not actually wheat. And we went with rice flour because it's not as dense.
Yeah.
When you're going to, fry the wing, there's not much.
It doesn't just cake up and become
Exactly.
all you taste when you bite into it, right?
There's so many places out there that, use a wheat, regular flour. And when you go and eat it, you're eating all breading. And, I want the chicken to be the highlight of the wing.
It absolutely is. So it's got a nice little tingle. I'm used to, very spicy things. So this is just a little tingle. If you guys, if you don't like spice, you're still going to like this because it's not something that burns your mouth. It's just got like a, hey, I was here, you know, after you're done eating it. Absolutely delicious, man. You're killing the game.
I'm trying, man.
My God. So Jay Wilson just said he sounds like he would enjoy a Wagyu dinner fest. We do Wagyu beef every 6 or 8 weeks as a group for the last like 5 years or so.
I'm in there.
Oh, it's so
I'm in
much
there.
fun. Absolutely so much fun.
Your feed is good over there. I lost everything.
Yeah, it went out for a moment, came right back
I
home.
want to check the light beer.
Yeah, that's this one.
Yeah, let me check
That one right there.
Yep, right there. Go grab it. So once again, we are on with Joe Brignoni of Joe's Rotisseria in both Roselle Park and Asbury Park, making some of the most amazing food that there is, man. So I'm going to get back to the triple threat because now I'm ready to cut little triangles of what looks to be the most delicious two things I've ever eaten, calzone and garlic knots.
And this is going to be the only time that, if you are a non-ricotta lover, or regatta, however you want to say it, this is going to be non-clumpy. And when you usually get a lasagna or something like that, it's usually clumpy. The reason why it's not clumpy is because the high butter fat that we have in our cheese. It's going to be ultra smooth and delicious.
I mean, it looks insane.
Yeah.
It's actually
we
now.
also have the sauce right here if you want.
This seems like the time to eat it because it came together nicely.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to check out this
the power juicer.
power juicer, man.
So the power juicer was just canned today.
Yeah, we just canned that this morning. Wow. That's a double IPA.
Fresh as it gets.
Yeah. Stupid amount of citra in there. We added all throughout the
big
process.
citrus guy. Look at that.
Look at that, another hard pour.
Just
man,
a
same
wrestler
thing, bro.
going at it.
Yeah.
Ooh, almost foamed over.
I did the same thing.
Oh my god!
Super creamy,
Dude,
not
even
clumpy. It's the triple threat's the way to go.
It's insane. So I watched Portnoy's review, which was funny as hell.
Yeah, I was just grateful that he stopped by.
Yep.
And
and
at
he
the end of
goes,
the
not
day-
typically would I stop by a chicken/pizza joint,
Exactly.
but he was completely blown away by the
Yeah.
combination of the flavors with the
Yeah.
calzone, with the garlic knots, and then he put the slice of pizza on the top.
I was shocked. I was
He
like,
gave you like an 8.5 bite, right? He said that
It
that
was
was
a 7.9, but I'll
7.9 for the pizza.
I'll take it all day.
But he gave like an 8.5 bite when he put all three together.
I'd
And
take
if you
the
know
8.5
Dave
all day
Portnoy and his
long.
reviews, right? Anything in the eights is saying get there. It's saying absolutely get there.
This is my favorite right here.
Yeah, you like that?
This is
I like that one
I would
too.
drink this all the time.
Well,
This is
it's
great.
in many stores, and he has it right at the brewery. So go see him at the brewery. And yeah, he had mentioned he has a Joe's Rotisseria truck.
Yeah, it's Future Pizza. It's a pizza truck that we do pizza, wings, empanadas, and thunder sticks. So I don't have a grill in the truck because I wanted to keep the truck as clean as possible. I feel like when you have the grill,
Is
there's
this
a lot
crazy
more,
or what?
lot more grease going on.
What's
And
that? You don't want to drive around with a pressure fryer?
well, I'll pre-cook my pressure fried wings and then bring them on the
Yeah.
truck.
So like now a triple threat of I'm not worried about frying, not worried about a pressure cooker. Now
Yeah.
let's move it.
Yeah, exactly. We spent a good amount of money on the truck. It actually has a house air conditioner on it, so I'm not sweating my balls off.
All right. Nice.
So I feel like if I'm going to be on a food truck in the heart of a carnival or whatever, I'm going to be at 65 degrees. That's it. We spent like at least $9,000 just on air conditioning.
You got to keep yourself cool, right?
I was like,
Otherwise you're sweltering in there.
Yeah, I was like,
And then it's like
I'm not doing that.
you're doing favors for everybody else and making great food, but you're in misery the whole time. You don't need
Yeah,
that.
you don't need to add the extra salt. to
I
the
just think
food.
with the food truck industry, there's so many people sweating on your food.
Yeah.
And I just think, I love going to these food festivals and all that. But when I see somebody sweating refusively and they're passing me something, I just think that's a hard turn.
Gross, yeah.
You know what I
Gross.
mean? So I just feel like, all my people that are working inside this truck, they're going to be comfortable. No one's going to be sweating. And
They're going to be happier. They're going to do better on the
it's
the
more
food
efficient.
execution.
It's more efficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just, I want you to look at the truck and I want you to say, I would love to eat off the floor of that truck. That's how clean it is.
Yep.
And
It's the same as an open kitchen.
both my restaurants are open kitchen. I just feel like it's the way to go. You got to show your customers how clean you are. And I think that's super big, even beyond the food. Like, I feel like a good chef is a clean chef. You know what I mean?
100%. People don't want to see you hiding stuff. If you're out in the open and you're cooking right in front of them, and they can see in there.
Exactly.
they're more excited to get the food.
Agreed.
Exactly.
And so I'm sorry, PJ.
No. Go right ahead. Want a
So
slice of your
your
calzone here?
With your food truck here, are you going to now open up the possibilities to just doing, private events in general, aside from like food festivals and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, the food truck has been paid off, but through private events. We've been doing private weddings. Some people just don't let us post about it.
Yeah.
Just
Really?
because of privacy concerns. Like, we did a couple of celebrities, and they were just like,
I know that story very well, my friend.
Yeah, we don't want any pictures. This isn't an advertisement for you. This is you making your money and leaving.
Yep.
And I respect it.
Yeah.
100%, and that's why I always ask my customer, "Hey, is it all right if we get a few pictures of your event? We'll tag them." Some customers say yes. Some customers
They'll tell you right away.
Yeah.
We do. So you didn't get the tour of the whole space, but we're soundstage in the back too. So we do a lot of performance scenes for music videos. People come in and film.
Yeah,
their
and you would
performance
love to
scenes.
take a picture of them, but
Well, we've had some celebrities here, and some of them, like even legends. Like we did like a Leonard Skinner shoot here, and they were super rad, and they didn't have any qualms with us.
Yeah, they were cool about you doing a behind the scenes
we did
video
a
and
BTS
stuff
reel
like
and
that.
all that. They're super cool about it. And then we've had some other celebrities, that are anti us putting out that content, and which kind of sucks a little bit because it's like. Got to remember where you came from too. It doesn't hurt to support a local business.
Exactly.
You have 7 million followers, and they post up a reel, and it's a high quality reel.
it helps
how does
you
that,
out.
a crumb.
How does that
please.
hurt you?
Let me get a crumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you're trying to use them for anything, but if you had a good time here, you enjoyed your experience, why would you not want your crowd
Exactly.
to see what's going on?
Exactly.
And maybe they want to utilize
It
it.
advocates legitimacy too for your product, for your brand. It's like,
Great
look,
spot
it's
here.
good
I mean,
for.
you guys have a phenomenal setup.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you the tour after we finish up
love
for
that.
sure.
I would love it too.
But it's like one of those things, man, where it's like, for like not for bragging rights, but I feel like it's a great marketing opportunity to say, look, this is good enough for this person.
Why can't you use it?
And
Exactly.
you can have it too, and you don't have to be that. You don't have to be that celebrity to afford this or have this
Exactly.
food. But they'll eat it too because they understand how great it is. You know, and so, that's like a kind of like a sore spot for me because I don't understand why people just. I'm all about like let's grow together. Let's everybody grow together.
Some people
everybody
just
be
want the best
successful.
for themselves and don't want everybody else to know where they get it.
I always tell my friends that work with me, even food bloggers that come in, I want to see you eat.
Yeah.
If I'm eating, I want you to eat at the same table. And I think, that's super big, especially when you're collabing with the right people and you're working with the right folks and you want to see them eat too.
Right.
You know what I mean? If someone has, XYZ followers and you got XYZ followers, I want to bring that person up.
Yep.
If I can gain that person 1,000, 2,000 followers, that's what I want to do because nobody did that for me when I was them.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
So
Nobody.
It's like the same thing in my industry. It's like for us, like we're collabing with everybody. Collaborations, it blows people's minds that a brewery works with another brewery, puts out a beer that, has both your names on. It's like, well, aren't you like competing against each other? This and I was like, no, we're all working with each other.
Exactly.
The amount of times like we've worked with like brand new breweries that, haven't opened their doors yet or just opened their doors. So it's like, I wish someone did that for me.
Right.
So like, I'm going to do it for whoever I can.
Exactly.
Like, get it. So like, oh, you have a brand new brewery. You're just opening. You have 1,000 followers on Instagram. We've got like 30,000. Like, we're going to do a beer together. We're going to get your name on the label. We're going to share it. That way, like, you get a few extra like steps ahead.
Exactly.
Because like, I don't know, we all take each other under each other's wings, like whether it be for marketing, whether it be for just, general sharing of knowledge, like why not?
Bro, that's humanity right there.
Yep.
And there's a lot of lack of that you see.
Some
in
people are just so
2024.
jealous, man. When it comes to wanting to be better than someone, and I just feel like no matter how big I get as a person, I can always have the room to get better.
Yeah.
And you're never going to get better unless you have the mentality of learning from someone else.
Yep. And
You know what I mean? So,
I don't think it's very fun to just eat up all the success and watch other people wanting what you have and not be willing to give them a hand to lift them up with you.
exactly.
Our platform here at EGT is exactly that. We just want to showcase other awesome business, people that are doing fun things,
Yep.
and say, hey, when you come to New Jersey, why would you not want to come here?
Yeah, exactly.
We're enjoying ourselves. When
Yeah.
you come to New Jersey, you enjoy it too.
Or why not pick up a beer from Icarus? You know what I mean? And
It's probably the best beer I've had all year.
I'm not a
to be
beer
honest
drinker.
with
I
you.
said the same thing.
It's
I don't
only
even
March.
drink
It's
beer.
like mid-March.
So you still
Like,
take
if you had
that.
like a dry January, then like you're really
I
only
didn't
seeing a
have
month and a half.
my January was
Okay.
wet, man. I
Okay.
promise you.
So Jay, there's not Jay. There's a couple of questions here in the chat for you. So first of all, my wife wants to have this for her birthday dinner, which is tomorrow.
Yep.
By the way,
All right, come to the shop. I'll be there.
we'll have to come by.
Precious
She also wants to know what's the best way to reheat the wings. If we were to buy a bunch and had leftovers, do you
I
have
would
like a
get them
weigh-in on that?
sauceless and just air fry them to the bone.
That's funny because Keith said the same thing. Keith said air fryer for
Sauceless.
reheating wings.
You don't want to have them with sauce because then they'll burn the sauce,
gonna
especially
make
on a
it.
glaze. There's a lot of sugar content in
Yep.
there. But you want to get them unsauced. But even surprisingly, you bring these wings home, you put them in your fridge, you take them out, they're still fucking crunchy. It's crazy.
Dude, the crunch is insane.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you know, you have your own little sauce here, too. We had Aaron here from Coney Island
Yes.
Saucery last week,
Yeah.
who has that Trailer Park brand.
I saw that. I want to check that.
I have them in the kitchen. You can try it out.
I gotta take
I'm
them
not
out.
saying, like, this flavoring on these wings are insane, bro. They're insane. You know,
Those are my two best. I wanted to bring the heavy hitters, and I just wanted to really
I'm just
show
still
out.
mind blown that they are
Crispy?
still
Crispy.
so crispy.
A lot of people don't even know we're there.
No.
And I think it's a part of our name being, you know, having rotisserie chicken. And a lot of people think we're a rotisserie chicken place. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people still don't know we're in Asbury Park.
I know that feeling, too.
And it's just like, I'm here to show the locals that I'm here for you.
Yes.
I'm not going to serve you a soggy wing a day in my life. And when you get home from wherever your drive is, it will still be crunchy.
Do you
True to
do
fact.
you use DoorDash? Do you use all those guys?
I just got on a DoorDash, and I have to say, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the convenience of not having to pay a high schooler that doesn't want to show up on a Saturday because they got paid Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday great money.
Right, right.
Now they're like, you know what? F you. On a weekend,
I'm
I'll
gonna
take
do
I'm-
my weekend
now
myself.
I'm delivering deliveries in a Denali. Like, you know, it just makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I'm scratching delivery out. I'm only doing online services for delivery. We use Slice and DoorDash, and I think it's been a phenomenal experience.
And it opens up your radius a lot because
Yeah.
those guys will go a decent
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah, we go to the
distance.
tip of Tinton Falls. So
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm right here on North End.
We
Tinton
might. I think
Falls.
we're a 12-mile radius, so I think we might hit you.
Yeah, so Slice, too. Like, Slice is usually my go-to because...
Slice is great, but not a lot of people know about it.
Dude, they don't gouge on the cost either, you know, like
don't.
Uber
I pay
Eats does
$1.50
or
per order.
DoorDash, yeah.
Yeah.
And they incentivize too, like they give some coupons and stuff. I don't know, that's
Love it.
obviously subsequent from you guys if you're willing to do that, but
I gotta slide these guys.
I
in.
think my favorite part of using a third-party service is most people, believe it or not, will charge back and be like, "Oh, I never ate that." When you do that with Slice or DoorDash, you do that once, they'll kick you off the app.
yeah, that's it.
And I'm still going to get paid either way. So the two on the right are cut in half, and the two
Look at
on
this.
the left
Look,
of
look,
you,
look.
you can pick up and
Oh
show.
my goodness.
Absolutely insane.
Yep.
All right, so
these
you
are
had
your
mentioned
Thunder Sticks, right?
Thunder Sticks. Tell
Thunder
us about the
Sticks.
Thunder Stick here.
So, you know, I was cutting cheese one day. I was cutting cheese at the pizzeria, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a 1 foot long mozzarella stick.
Because why not?
And I just feel like, you know, there's some people that come in for 3 orders of mozzarella sticks and leave. They don't even get pizza. They don't get wings. They just come in for the Thunder Sticks and leave. And I just think, you know, you need to have items that really bring people in the door.
Yeah, they're showcase items. They're
Exactly.
things that people go, you know what, I'm going to go in there for that triple threat, for these Thunder Sticks.
Yeah.
And then they get blown away by the chicken if they didn't even know that you had it.
The goal is to see a customer twice a week, easily. That's my goal every week. I want to see you twice a week. I want to get to know the family. I want to know your kid's name and everything. And I just feel like at that point,
You got them.
when you own a pizzeria, 75, 80% of it is your personality and really respecting your customers.
Yeah, because even if you make great food, but you're not a pleasure to be around when you're
Nobody's going to like you.
Yeah, people are going to come once and they're going to go, Yeah, the food is good, but
Yeah.
I don't really want to
But he was a
patronize that
prick.
guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the guy was a prick. I've never seen a 12-inch mozzarella stick before,
Yeah, it's something different. You know, at whenever we go to fairs and stuff, that is my line drawer. When I'm at a carnival or I'm at a festival, I'd probably sell 3,000 thunders.
Yeah, because people just love to walk around with them and
Exactly.
eat them like a kielbasa.
Everybody
or
wants to
something.
take a picture of them.
Yep.
That's basically it. You know, most people, they're 30, 40 years old, never had a 1 foot long mozzarella
No,
stick.
I'm 43. I've never had a 1 foot
So
mozzarella
I'm
stick,
here to
man.
I'm here to break all the first. I'm a first experience guy. I love being the first experience.
This is really good, opposed to getting like the generic frozen ones from Nastos or something like
Those
that.
are
that
all
you get at the
factory
restaurant.
made,
Yeah.
low quality cheese, the
Cheese.
lowest of the
Yep.
barrel.
So
Made
these are
in-
hand rolled.
hand rolled, hand breaded, hand cut. We cut them with a long, long slicer, and we go to town. We have a blast chiller. That's another piece of. I'm a guy of many of equipments. I got a blast chiller. I got an empanada machine. I feel like with the empanadas, most people who make empanadas, they open up.
Yeah.
With this machine, I can make 200-300 an hour, and
they'll stay sealed.
and none of them will open up.
Yep.
We actually have a taco empanada that we open up on purpose, and then we stuff it with lettuce, tomatoes.
So it's an empanada shell,
It's an
stuff,
empanada,
but
We
you let it
fry
open up.
We fry it, and then after we cut it open,
Yeah.
and then we put sour cream, cheddar, lettuce, and all the
Nice.
good stuff inside of
So
it.
listen, I'm gonna come try your empanadas. I have to give a
Empanada
little
tacos,
fact
man.
here. So my wife is Puerto Rican, and my mother-in-law
well.
lives with us as well. So
Okay.
I get homemade from scratch
Love that.
empanadas.
Love that.
So I'm coming to you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try your empanadas.
Yeah,
Bring
we
my
use the
wife with
sofrito
me.
in the empanadas. I'm Puerto Rican and Italian,
Oh,
so
there you go.
yeah.
So you
Well, I'm
got it in your
Italian,
blood.
and she's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I'm
so-
going to Puerto Rico in like 2 weeks, so it's gonna be great. I
Wow.
can't wait to go
Awesome.
back to the homeland. and
Beautiful
just-
there.
I like to do some little R&D over there. Just come up with ideas.
Yep.
I like traveling. Whenever I travel, I try to come up with 2-3 new inventions when I come back. That's
Yeah.
the main goal of traveling for me.
Absolutely.
You gotta go. I don't know if it's still open. Kel, contribute here or ask your mom to contribute here in chat.
This is
There's a
pretty
place-
high alcohol content.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
7,
pretty.
8. For us, that's like
I'm pretty buzzed, man.
There's
I'm
a
a
place
lightweight,
in the
though.
mountains. It's called Dos Mangoes, and it's like one of those homemade. Everything's open. It's in the
What part of
mountains, in the
PR?
jungle. I'm gonna find out from Kelly's
Yeah,
gonna tell
please
us
find
right
it because
now.
I'm definitely going in 2 weeks.
Kelly, you gotta tell
it's
us.
I usually fly into San Juan just so I don't have to fly at the.
Los Dos Mangos.
I don't have to fly
Yeah.
at 2 a.m. to Aguadilla.
Where's it at? Where's it at, Kel? In Puerto Rico. So yeah. So she is her family.
Sidra.
There you go.
CIDRA.
Yeah.
And it's called Los Mangoes.
Lo-
You're
Los
saying they have the
Dos
best
Mangoes.
empanadas?
What?
They have the best empanadas, you're saying?
Bro, everything. The
I'm
mofongo
going.
is
Love that.
insane. It's like literally in the mountain and it's all open, so it's like you're in the jungle. It's like
Love
a
that.
mom and pop shop, but like all open seating area. It's not like superly over. It's not like trying to go get pinchos from Fajardo or something.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
pinchos. I usually
from some
go
like
there.
roadside
I
stand
usually
over
go there whenever
Yeah.
I land. I just go and support the community out there. They're cooking with,
Yeah.
wood with nails in it and shit, frying fucking. That's the
Little
best
shacks,
food. A little
yeah.
little extra flavor,
Yeah. That's our hole in the walls that we have here. The smaller the setup, the
But
dingier,
Los
the
Mangoes,
better.
I'm definitely trying that place out in 2 weeks. for
Kelly
sure.
said they have great food. You've got to go to the
I
mountains.
agree, 100%.
I'm going 100%.
Puerto Rico's incredible, man,
I
because
think
it-
I'm staying there for like 6 days. So yeah.
You have like the cities and like the condado and all these like touristy areas, and then it's the only place I know that you can travel 15 minutes down the road and people have horses in their front yard. They're still
crazy.
riding horses down the street. They're still doing rooster fighting. I'm using rooster instead of
Yeah,
the other
rooster.
word.
You got to go to Culebra when you go there. It's like a $2.50 ferry ride to a separate island off of Puerto Rico, and it's breathtaking.
It's like Vieques and
Vieques. Yeah, it's next to Vieques.
Okay.
Vieques is also beautiful. They have the bioluminescent bay and stuff like that. But
Yeah, Puerto Rico's beautiful, man.
Well, can't wait to
Not to
go
get
there.
off topic, but
Well, I want to call back something that Keith Kallenberg said. He said
What's
about
that?
these 12-inch deals.
They're
He
glitzy.
said people want a big stick in their mouth. That's what they're looking for when they
man,
walk around
I didn't say
carnivals.
it. I didn't say it.
We're not here to judge.
We're not here to judge, but we will judge that they're absolutely delicious,
Yeah.
right?
I will say everything that you put out here today, man, is really good. Like really
Thank you,
good.
man. We just
I
try to
think
be
if there's a
different.
consistency, it's just quality. There's a love in it. You can tell that you love what you do.
Yeah.
You're prideful about it.
Exactly.
And I mean, anything that travels well means it was made well.
Exactly.
Usually,
yeah.
if it takes 20 minutes and the thing is not good anymore, it just wasn't made.
Yeah, exactly.
The right way.
100%. I think, as far as, ingredients, we're making that with Grande cheese, and, Grande is one of the best
That's
cheese
it. That's
companies
the top
in
brand.
the world.
100%
So
Grande. That's where it's at.
just, when it comes down to, using cheeses and using the best flour and using the best, wings, chicken, those are all great things.
Look, you can make a little more profit by cutting corners, but you're not going to get that person to come back.
That's why I try to tell, my fellow colleagues, whenever they tell me, oh, Joe, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so I said, you know what? You're not in business to see a customer once.
Yeah.
I want to see you for the rest of my life. I want to see you grow old with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then that means you touched them. You gave them something
Exactly.
they can't get just anywhere. So
Exactly.
Keith came back and he said, I can't wait to visit my family in Tom's River so I can go see you when I'm down there.
Yeah, we got a 30-year lease in Asbury. So
You're not going
Wow.
anywhere.
all in.
I wish you all the success then.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. I see Asbury in the next 5 years to be an explosion.
It
of
already
business.
is, man. So I'm from Ocean originally, which is
Yeah.
a neighboring town, bro. And so I'm a little bit older, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I grew up like at the tail end of post Asbury riots when some of the amusements were still there.
I wish I could have bought a block.
Right, and then it went to like complete just desert, town. And like as a kid, like I have friends that live in Lock Arbor, which is like right on the other side of the lake, and we didn't go past Sunset Avenue. Like that was as far as we went at that point in time.
Yeah.
To see where Asbury has come today, like threefold, is incredible. Dude, you can't even get parking anymore. Number one,
Right.
I mean, your location is
Premium.
yeah.
I love it.
I wouldn't
I
worry
love
about
having
the 30
two
year.
floors. We have a really phenomenal. I want to say we have the best rent in Asbury. There's some places on Cookman. I'm not going to say their name because they don't want their business
Well,
out
you locked
there.
into a 30 years, so that's why they gave you the best deal possible.
I
right?
wanted to buy the building, and
Yeah.
the motherfucker wouldn't want to sell it to me.
It's premium
So you said
realty now.
next best thing, I'll just lock in
But
forever.
at the end of the day, no one's going to buy a building with a 30-year lease, and I have first option to buy whenever he does want to. I tease him every day. I said, here's the check.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're going to sell me this building so you can go back to wherever you came from.
Dude, I had an opportunity 25 years ago to buy a property on Sunset Avenue for $63,000.
Now
bro.
it's probably worth $2 million.
And yeah, and
Easily.
I literally want to go throw up in the bathroom when I talk about that story
Yeah.
because I
crazy.
didn't pull the trigger. But can I ask you something
Yeah.
interesting about one of your pizzas that I saw that you guys do?
100%.
You guys do a sushi pie, is that correct?
Yeah. We do it with a little crab meat on top. We do a little eel sauce. And we use a rice crust and stuff like that. So it's all different. We try to be seasonal with our inventions. So that's a good summer pie when when you're sitting on the beach sweating
Something
your balls
light.
off. You got a nice cold bite.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You're biting into something that's a little cold. It's refreshing, and there's a lot going on. This summer we're gonna do the salmon. The tuna salmon. So
It just widens your market, man. You know?
it's just been coming out with different summer menus week after week. Like this week, I featured we did a collab with the Philly Pretzel Company, and we did a cheesesteak on one of the pretzels, and that's
Holy
one
cow.
of the menus that I'm gonna have this summer because Philly Pretzel is coming to Asbury on the boardwalk.
Are they really?
Yeah, so I was just like, if he's gonna be right around the corner, why not be his best friend? You know what I
No
mean?
reason not to be.
So
Smart
Support the neighbors, and the neighbors will support you.
exactly.
What do you think about this pizza, Jason? You a fan? I mean, you've had it before, right? So this is nothing new
so like
for
my
you.
girlfriend used to live in Asbury. The locals obviously all know about Joe's
Yeah.
Rotisseria. Like, everybody knows about it. So it's always a thing just to grab pies from you, grab wings, everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think, like, how many pizzerias are there in this state?
Yeah.
Like 1,000 towns.
There's
Yeah.
probably 15 pizzerias just in Asbury.
Yeah.
Just in Asbury.
So to not just like stand out locally, but to stand out statewide is just
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
And I mean, you're doing the pizza well, which is fine and great, but you're just doing some other things that get people jazzed up to come see you. Because at the end of the day, you guys are going to want to visit multiple times, get a couple of things, come back, try some different stuff. But it's got to be fun for you over the summertime to be able to develop those summer menus, right?
Love it. Like,
Right?
we got the filet mignon sliders on the Martin's potato roll. Like, those are like one of those things that like you might come 3 times a week and get those.
Right, just for the
because, like,
summertime.
for $25, you get 2 sliders and fries. Like, that's comfort food. Like, when you're hungover and you don't want nothing greasy, like, you're gonna have a nice lean piece of meat.
Yep.
And you're gonna feel great. You're gonna come back to life. You're gonna feel like you again.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you know, it's instead of you getting that smash burger from somewhere else, spend the extra $10 because I know Five Guys, a burger, fries, and a drink
It's
right now.
damn
is
near
$21,
$20, right?
More than
Yeah.
that, 2
So
people, you're
you
looking
might
at
as well get some
$76.
filet mignon in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right?
you
A
know
couple
how-
bucks more, you
you
got
know?
filet mignon.
Yeah.
you know how hard it
$76
is to eat
for that.
$21 worth of free peanuts?
Yeah, exactly. You
it's
got to
just not
load
gonna
up on
happen.
like a trough full of
crazy.
Yeah.
peanuts. So if you guys are just joining us, we're here once again with Joe Brignoni from Joe's Rotisseria. And we also have Jason from Icarus Brewing Company here. He's been here from the start. We've been drinking, enjoying his beer. His beer absolutely
10 out of
pairs.
10.
It,
10 out
it
of
pairs with your food really well.
I was just gonna say that.
10 out of 10.
right?
Yeah.
Can't wait to post them on the story later because I want all my followers to know who he is.
Yes.
To know his brand. To know what we're drinking right here is quality.
Icarus is one of the biggest breweries in New Jersey, and for good reason. They put out good stuff every
It
single
literally
week.
tastes like this right here is. It literally has the best name. It tastes like juice. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like
Power
it's
juicer.
phenomenal.
So Jay Wilson said, I need to know if he thinks it's Taylor ham or it's pork roll.
Oh,
All right, well, I
answer
recently just moved down here.
that. Okay.
I know
What are you
what
gonna
you're
So
say?
I went to Union High School, graduated 2011,
And you realized your mistake.
and I realized now anytime I cross the bridge, it is pork roll.
Because it
Yes.
is pork roll.
And we are coming out with the new pork roll sandwich next week. There's going to be a half a pound of thinly sliced, I want to say hair thinly sliced,
Ooh.
hay-stacked pork roll on a Martin's potato roll. It's going to be like this high with all the
What?
thinly sliced. It's never been done before.
No.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, I think
Sounds
usually they go
delicious.
thick
I'm
cut.
talking about super thin, and I want it to be like almost like a bacon sandwich, but
Yeah.
like super thin, this high, and when you bite into it, you gotta like kind of like.
Is it going to crisp up?
It's gonna be so crispy and crunchy. There's gonna be no. It's gonna be well done.
Right on.
all the
When are you
way,
doing
yeah.
this? Summertime?
No, next week.
Next week.
Next week. Can we have him back on
Next
next
week.
Yes,
week?
absolutely.
Next week, trying to get for sure.
Absolutely.
Every week, I'm gonna come out with a different menu item from my summer menu.
The both
love
of you two are crazy, man. This guy makes 3 to 5 different beers
Yep.
every single
That's
week,
why I can't
man.
wait to bring the food truck
it-
there.
It's all about, again, keeping it fresh.
Where's it
Again,
at? Tom's River.
What?
You said the brewery?
Right now it's Lakewood, and we're moving to Brick.
Okay.
So, like, few exits down the road.
I'm gonna be right there with the
Yeah.
food truck.
Bro.
That's it.
I'm all about it. Like, again, like we do private events, like we do like food pairing events. Like now with new laws, allowed to do these fun things. So I'd be all about getting some sort of
Do you have food
pairing.
vendors? Yeah. Do you have food vendors there right now?
We do like food trucks like Friday to Sunday right now.
Okay. Do you charge like a fee or how's it work?
No.
Alright, I'm in there.
No,
No.
it's a
it's
thank
for
you
free, it's
for
for me.
feeding our customers.
I'm in there.
Because for so long they couldn't have the food trucks outside.
Yeah, that's a rule around
So
here.
now they changed it,
Yep.
and now we can actually feed people when you're at a brewery.
Yeah, it's all synergistic for me of having like a food truck outside. 'Cause
Yeah.
food trucks are all like local small businesses. You can't get more small business than a food truck.
Exactly. That's
and
why
then,
I got one. I was like, I need to get in that industry.
Yeah, and then it's all about like we can market together. We can do fun things like
Love it.
we're bringing people to your food. You're bringing your food to our people. Like it all works back and forth.
Yeah.
And like again, because it's already ridiculous enough that as a brewery we can't serve food, but like okay, we can serve food, but might as well work with the best food then.
Yeah, nah, I've done a ton of food truck events at a lot of breweries in town in Asbury Park, and I just want a home for my food truck, a home brewery where I'm there all the time. You know I'm going to be there. You know the brewery's going to be there. You know the Thunder Sticks are going to be there. And that's pretty much it, you know. So I'm happy we're here tonight.
So I'm
Cheers.
curious, how does that work for the Asbury Beer Garden? Because they do serve food there, but they're not a brewery.
They're not a
They're
brewery.
just a beer
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah,
that
they
It'd
just
only
serve-
be
caveat?
for Asbury Park Brewery. That's
Yeah.
what you're kind of meaning.
Yeah, but, well, or Wild Air.
Yeah, Wild Air
I've done
is.
a couple events at Wild Air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I
like,
know the
they're-
head brewmaster.
Oh, Dougie Fresh?
Yeah, it's my
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
You gotta love Dougie Fresh.
Yeah,
You
I've
gotta
known
love
Doug
Dougie's
for
the best.
probably a decade now.
He was
He's
Fresh
great people.
Flavors for the
Yeah.
first time,
D
right?
Fresh, man. I love D Fresh.
He's just so out there, just amazing dude, great
He's the
brewer.
best.
I love D
Yeah.
Fresh.
Shout out to Dougie Fresh.
Yo, shout out to
Quick
Dougie
question for you. Jay Wilson said, what's the next adjunct that you're going to use in the notorious Kalishnikov barrel-aged stouts?
Oh, Jay Wilson knows that. Like that's a Safety Kevin thing. Like Safety Kevin figures out all the Kalishnikov variants these days. He's more tuned to the, stout world than me.
His
I don't know.
Kalishnikov stout is a big, heavy beer, and then they throw it in a barrel, and it ages beautifully, and they throw a couple of different adjuncts in there, and then you have a vanilla Kalishnikov and a coconut Kalishnikov and double chocolate. And
Yeah,
I'm
so,
not
like,
a big beer guy, but after
you.
trying this beer, man,
You're a
I'm
beer
usually
guy
a
now.
straight up goose guy. You bring goose to the party, like, I'm just
Dude,
Yeah, but you just thought this beer like 7.5% was big. Kalishnikov is 14.5% alcohol.
Yep.
Wow.
So like that's a sipper. Like and
Wow.
especially after it's been aging in a bourbon barrel for 2-3
Yeah.
years, conditioning on like vanilla beans, on toasted coconut, maple syrup,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
else. Like it is a lot.
It's a dessert in a glass.
Nah,
And you just
100%,
sit
yeah.
there, sip it slowly.
Yeah.
That's why I love stouts so much, because I don't need to drink 36 ounces of something or 48 ounces.
No.
I can drink 8 ounces over a slow period of time,
Yeah.
be satiated, get a little buzz on, but really just the flavor profile of a
Yeah.
dark beer is so
Nah, you
delicious.
definitely opened up the world of beers for me.
I said the
tonight.
There you
same
go.
thing, Joe. Like I'm not a beer drinker, you know.
Me,
like, it's not my
I
thing.
probably have had 4 beers all year. I'm gonna
Oh,
be-
and
Now you
ours
just
are the
had
best.
2.
Now-
And now you just
Ours
had
are the
great
best of the
ones.
4. Thank you.
There you go. He's killing it.
I'm just saying, like I generally will turn down.
It's always
beer
good to be
Yeah.
in first place. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how
Okay.
many people
Okay.
are in the line,
Yeah.
right?
Just generally, I will literally turn down beers left and right.
Yep, I'm with that. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
And
I'm
this
all right.
beer, 100%. Even if I had 20 beers, 30 beers this year, 10 out of
Right
10.
up at the
Yeah.
top.
10
4
out of
beers
10.
all year. I've had 5 tonight, Jay
Nah.
Wilson said.
It's true. So I mean, for
I'm
a
just a
testament
goose
to
guy,
you,
you
bro.
know?
You know, like somebody that's like an expert beer drinker can appreciate all the different flavors that you're putting into it
Yep.
and the science of it. And then somebody as layman as me can
Yeah.
pick it up and take a sip of it and be like, man, this is really friggin' good, man.
Yeah.
And
Don't
you know,
worry, you're not lame. You're all right.
all right, thank you. Thank you for that.
So we got about 5 minutes left. I want to thank you once again for coming in, dude. You brought the most amazing food.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And we know that if the bar was set here, it's only going to get better when you eat it fresh and comes right out of the oven.
it, man.
So we've got Thunder Sticks right here, guys. We had a triple threat that barely has anything left because we attacked it. And then we've got 2 different variants of wings here. How many different styles of wings do you do?
I want to say on a good week, we usually do about 12 to 15.
Different styles of wings.
Most Sundays we're usually sold out of most sauces because
Yeah.
we try to make all our sauces
Yeah.
all week fresh.
Nice.
And I think that's what other places are missing out on. They're getting the jarred sauce in a plastic
Yep.
bottle, and I
You're
feel like
tasting the plastic when you eat it. It's
I only drink glass water.
Yeah.
I hate anything in plastic, so I really enjoy, making my own sauces
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
coming up with new flavors. Like we got a chicken bacon ranch flavor. Those are phenomenal.
Nice.
Big homemade ranch guy. Love
I
the
think you're
homemade
going to be
ranch.
seeing a lot of this
Yeah.
table
Hey,
over the
man,
course of
looking
the
Bro,
forward
I'm
year.
supposed to be on a
Looking forward
diet, but
Yo, dollar wings after
Happening.
10 o'clock. If I don't see you and you're somewhere else, you're wasting your money.
That's it.
That's it.
So once again, thank you so much for coming in, Jason from Icarus. Thank you for bringing the beer. It was absolutely delicious. It's great always to catch up with you. I can't wait for your new location to open up.
Me either.
That's going to be absolutely insane.
How
Hopefully,
big is it?
It's
Monstrous.
Yeah, we're in 16,000 square feet. The whole building's 24,000. We've got a beer garden at the new location that's bigger than our current whole space.
Wow.
Nice. Wow. And then if you're in the Asbury Park area, I need you to go see Joe's Rotisseria. He's doing some really fun things, and during the summertime, it's going to elevate and get even more fun. So that pork
wings.
roll sandwich, you're going to want to go see that pork roll sandwich next week.
The
You got
haystack.
dollar wings at 10 o'clock at night. If you're in Asbury Park and it's 10 o'clock at night in the summertime, I'm going to be texting you, get your ass over to Joe's Rotisseria because it's dollar wings.
What time do you stay open till, Joe?
3 a.m.
What?
What?
Yeah, you got to. You know, the drunk money is the best money.
Yeah.
You know, when you come in and you can barely speak and you want 100 wings, I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm here for it. You
When-
know, as
when
long
I'm
as you can keep your composure, I'm good. You know,
When I'm rolling out of Bond Street, I'll be making it to Joe's.
There you
I
go.
love Bond.
We do work in Asbury too, so I know that I can just pop in there late at
dollar
night.
wings. Come in, get 10 wings, $10, you leave.
100%.
I mean,
bro.
you cannot beat that.
You can't beat
Usually at a place right now with all of the increases in prices, 10 wings is $17.99 on the east.
That's how much
on the
That's
cheap
how
side.
much they are during the day.
Right?
But again, we use it as a marketing strategy.
Yeah, get you in there and
when
then
you're
see
at
all the other
Johnny
stuff.
Max and you're like, oh, I'm starving out of my mind. The only thing you're thinking about is dollar wings at Joe's.
100%.
And I think as far as a marketing standpoint, you're going to come in, you're going to buy a drink.
Yep.
You may even buy a slice.
Yep.
You're definitely going to buy some Thunder Sticks. So that dollar wing comes in and drives you into buying more.
Yep.
I could think back to 22-year-old me and be like, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and be like, bro, 12-inch mozzarella sticks?
Exactly.
Fuck yeah, I'm getting that.
Right before bed? Yeah, this will be fun.
And I'm going to smoke about 30 bowls, and I'm going to kill these mozzarella
There
sticks.
you go. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up for the night. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure eating the food, drinking the drink. Support these businesses, guys. Go see them on Instagram. They're putting out some really cool stuff. And we will see you guys again next week. Thanks for joining us. Peace.